How's it hanging?
Welcome. Good evening.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you? You know what? People might not know this, but every stream I have a fixation object that I obsess over and like hold and like do weird things with. And I'm going to start introducing every Fireside chat.
Your fixation object?
I'm going to show you my fixation object, which I found 2 minutes ago. And it is this. Oh, we got good ASMR sounds. But it's a chord organizer. This is Carl written all over it, but it's going to be my obsession, fixation, fiddler object. I'm going to be fiddling. That's what we got. That's what we got for this one.
You know what?
Whatever you have, go get your fixation object, grab it, give it a little fiddle, feel good.
I have a fixation object too.
Yes.
Sitting right next to me.
That's nice. Well, not
I
really.
guess the way you described it, though, you kind of went.
No.
I was like, "Oh, that's a cute thing to say," and then you're like, "Yeah," and I sit there and I put my fingers on it, and I fiddle with it, and yeah, you don't know what's going on under this desk.
Maybe referring to me as an object is also not the good idea, but yeah, fidgets.
Is it like watching mom and dad kiss? Is that a weird thing? If we show affection,
like,
does that
public
gross you out?
Public displays of affection?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You think so?
I don't know.
Is it like watching mom and dad have public displays of affection?
Maybe. I think it's cute. I think it's yeah. That's Keelan immediately.
Keelan
is there.
for sure. That's true. Oh my god.
That's very cute.
Could Keelan be our kid?
Keelan could actually. Keelan
Yeah.
was born. I don't want to give away all of Keelan's life information, but Keelan was born in a time for sure.
Well,
Keelan, you could be my child. Like this. I wouldn't do that to you, Keelan. You're an adult human being, and I respect
I
you.
don't know what you were doing.
You're an adult human, and I respect you.
That's so
And
funny.
love you very much.
You mean you guys aren't just colleagues? You know what's
We're
funny?
colleagues.
It's very funny. This is a funny thing. Dana's last name isn't really Newkirk.
That's
you
true.
know?
Yeah, legally, my last name is my
Still
maiden
Matthews,
name.
your maiden name. So you know, it was just a hassle to change it, and
Yeah.
neither of us really care.
I didn't know. Yeah, we didn't really care.
So I guess technically Newkirk is a stage name.
it is my stage name.
But it didn't used to be. And it's so
And they
funny
were
because
roommates.
people would consistently, when we would do events,
Yeah.
sometimes book us separate beds, sometimes separate rooms.
Yeah, if it was the same room, without a doubt, there were always two beds. Which is, you know what? Here's the thing. I want to say it's pretty nice that like people were that.
That's true.
They were like,
cool.
oh, well, yeah, like
were
they didn't
cool.
know. We were definitely going with like a white stripes kind of vibe.
We don't look related though, right?
We don't. I don't think we look
I don't think
anything
we look
alike.
related. We have totally different shaped heads.
My dad is adopted, and my my joke always is to tell people like we could be related because my dad was adopted, and I didn't know who my family was. And when I finally had my 23andMe and Greg had his 23andMe, I was like, can't make that joke anymore. Don't know. We could be related. I have no idea. No, I mean, obviously not. I'm making a joke.
Holly is strongly considering changing the name back to their maiden name or hyphenating, but
Ooh.
Lord, the paperwork. The
the
hyphenated name would be pretty sick though.
It would. I like a hyphenated name.
The hyphenated name's a good thing. You could be a hyphenated name.
I could.
It sounds very important.
It does, but I don't want to do the paperwork, as Holly said.
Dana Matthews Newkirk.
Yeah. There's so much paperwork.
There is, yeah.
And
That's the reason you can't have a verified profile on
That is
fucking Instagram.
You know what,
Even though
though?
everybody copies your fucking account and sells
Here's the
fake
thing.
tarot readings to people,
I think
they
it's-
still won't let you do it.
I think it's baloney, and I don't think I'm looking at the proper information because I know people use names that are absolutely not their own.
Yes, we should both hyphenate. I would love to
Yeah.
be Gregory Newkirk Matthews.
You could.
That's like a newscaster name.
That is a newscaster
Yeah.
name.
There you go.
That's cool. We could take our names and make a new name out of it.
I could take Dana's last name.
You could. Matthews is
I don't
not.
know.
I
Greg-
think that
Greg
Matthews is kind of a
Matthews?
boring. Greg Matthews is definitely
That's
a
a
newscaster's
newscaster
name.
name.
Oh, it's a good newscaster's name though, or like a meteorologist. Greg Matthews,
I'm Greg
meteorologist.
Matthews with the weather.
Tell us what the weather is.
It's hot, full of cicadas.
That's literally
know if any
the
of
best. That's the best.
Many of you are dealing
description.
with the same thing. If that's just like an Ohio thing, I don't know what brood it is, but like they all just came out underground. There's holes all over
Yeah.
everybody's yards.
Yes, they're
and
everywhere.
They are loud as hell.
Dude, I will try to take a video. It's hard if they are not currently screaming around in your backyard or the place where you live. It's hard to describe to you how much they do kind of feel like a swarm of locusts when you look up. And the sound of the hum reacts to things that you do because like if we were taking something out, they get louder because they're like, what's going on down there? They're very scary.
There's a place called Newkirk, New Mexico.
Oh yes, I think we knew
I
that.
think we knew that.
I think someone said also Math Kirk would be a good
Math Kirk.
mashup of our names. I kind of like that.
Oh, Jason says it was over 100 degrees down here for weeks.
No.
And the cicadas are screaming. Finally started raining and the temp has chilled out. Oh,
I'm glad
thank
the
goodness.
temperature-
That's good.
Yeah, it was really, really hot today. Really, really hot yesterday.
Dana spent all day in her office the other day.
I did.
Do you want to tell people
Yeah.
about your office in case they aren't sure?
Yeah, so sometimes
You might think this is the office. It's like me and Connor and Carl that spend time down in this place.
Yeah.
Dana's office is a little different.
My office is a floaty like
It's a one-person kiddie pool
it's
that sits on the back porch.
and I fill it with water and then I sit in it and I write Magic of the Month.
Literally. So when you get Magic of the Month, Dana's writing it
I'm literally
in her office. I want you to imagine her with her little sun hat on.
Yep. I'm literally just
In her little one-person pink.
It's pink. It's a pink blow-up kiddie pool.
Just sitting there.
I think Keelan uses it at some point in some B-roll. Is it? Don't.
That's true. That's true.
There is footage of it out there, but
That's
yeah,
true.
that's basically just picture me just sitting in my kiddie pool. It's 1,000,000,000 degrees out because apparently I love like hot weather now, which is a new thing.
This is with your stones.
With my stones.
STOANS.
That's
stones.
That's exactly, if you're a girly ghost hunter, that's exactly how you pronounce the word stones. Pink Pony Club. Yes, exactly. And we have like all of our neighbors are very, very older, retired people, and so they just see me in my kiddie pool. Writing about witchcraft. Hello.
Look at Danielle got a tanning pool
Yes!
for her balcony.
Danielle,
Great
it's
minds.
the same thing. Literally, we just fill it with water and you just pop a squat. And
Great
you sit in that sucker. Put suntan or sunscreen on. That's important. But yeah, you just pop a squat, sit in that little sucker.
Tracy likes your look tonight. You look like a 70s horror movie.
Yes, that's the guy. That was the whole vibe.
Yeah.
I keep telling Greg I'm finally morphing into my ideal final form, which is just Donna from that 70s show.
I always thought Donna was a babe.
Listen, like I said, the only goal that I've ever had in life is to look like a camp counselor from the 70s. It's the greatest look ever. It's
Well,
one of the best looks.
Put a cap on it.
Love it.
You win.
Yeah.
You did it.
I
You did
love
it.
that. That's so good.
How is everyone tonight? I hope you guys are doing okay. You know, despite the state of the world and all of that, we can we can all assume everybody's under a considerable amount of stress lately.
Mm-hmm. Everyone is here. How many people are here? Let everybody stop what you're doing right now, just cause. Let's all take a cleansing and collective breath in through the nose. Hold and out through the mouth.
Okay.
We feel a little better.
I have something that we can add to this that
Okay.
will help us with our stress as well.
Yeah.
It's called Hard Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Also,
Just crack the top.
I'm gonna have one
and then
too.
go down the throat.
Go down. I'm drinking black cherry. We're gonna do ASMR sounds.
Woo.
There we go. All right. And booze. Yes, exactly.
Yes, booze.
Deep breathing and booze.
Happy Pride.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride.
Cripes. What a time to be alive, isn't it?
Shall we start at the top of the
Let's
list?
start at the top of our list. If you're a brand new museum member,
Yes.
we just want to say thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting whatever it is we're doing here.
Thanks for hanging out with us on a night during the week.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah.
for being here.
Just thanks for being chill.
Yeah.
Fireside chats, we kind of kick off every month with them, and they're just we just kind of hang out. We talk about the latest in the paranormal news. We talk about what we've been up to in the museum, what the month coming up is going to look like. We'll answer questions if you got stuff you're curious about, and then we usually end it by giving some like recommendations of some stuff that we've been digging lately that you might dig too, and we get your recommendations from that.
We have a few good ones.
Yeah, we got a few good ones,
and some and a couple stinkers.
Yeah, there's a couple stinkers too. Really disappointing ones, but whatever. The top of our list tonight, though, to talk about is, I don't know if anyone's been paying attention.
not to bring more stress into your life, but you should know.
I don't know if people have been paying any attention to this. I'm not really on social media anymore. I know a lot of people haven't, but I do catch things once in a while. Usually, I'll pop in, see what's going on. I hate to break it to you, but there are rumors that Annabelle is on the loose.
Annabelle is on the loose. Causing mayhem
2
everywhere.
weeks, all I'm seeing are like videos of Ryan Buell very excitedly giving the news about what Annabelle is up to. And I saw a fucking MSNBC article
about Annabelle
about
on the loose?
Annabelle not actually being on the loose.
Oh.
Yeah, but Annabelle's being blamed for that plantation fire that happened.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was a good guy. I guess we did know. And then also having something to do with like people escaping prison.
Yeah.
In
Oh
Louisiana.
God, really?
Yeah, people are saying Annabelle had to do with that.
There's something so, I think, like something so dystopian about like your haunted object taking credit for like
that better be a joke. That better be a joke. Is that legit?
What?
B.
Oh yes.
No. Annabelle, they're taking the spaghetti dinners.
They are.
cross country now. So I think Annabelle will be in
Ohio,
Louisville pretty soon, or Lexington or something. I don't know. Anyway, there was some event down there, and because Annabelle was down there, everybody blamed every bad thing that happened in the entire state of Louisiana.
It's good press for Annabelle.
That's true.
That's true. The whole goal.
All press is good press.
For Annabelle, that's true. Annabelle doesn't care. Annabelle's on the loose.
Yes, Annabelle turned Elon Musk against Donald Trump.
Annabelle is out there causing chaos.
I don't know. My opinion on Annabelle's improving.
It's kind of changing a little bit. Wait a second.
That's actually not true. I've always kind of figured Annabelle was not. I mean, we talked about it in the last, the season finale of the podcast. The story of Annabelle's changed so many times.
Yeah.
And doesn't really make any sense.
It doesn't make, even by like traditional paranormal,
it doesn't make any sense.
Like lore, it still doesn't.
It's not a possessed doll anyway. There's a demon moving its arms.
Yeah. Annabelle has never, can I be perfectly honest with you?
Yeah.
Annabelle doesn't scare me even a little bit.
No, Annabelle's never been scary to me.
It's never been, like here's the thing. I've met Robert the doll. We've stood next to Robert. He's very creepy and scary looking. And he's got a weird vibe for sure.
She was inspired by the Eras tour. He says. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh my God. I love the idea. Listen, I love the idea that Annabelle is just. What was it that made Annabelle like it? What Annabelle got
Annabelle's gonna. Trisha says Annabelle's dropping the Epstein logs.
Finally! Oh my God, Annabelle is doing the good work.
You know what? Let's have a let's have a seance
Would it
to
be,
speak to Annabelle.
Can I say something? Can we figure out what night they're planning to do that? And can we like Can I try to communicate with Annabelle? I'm so fucking curious to see what is rattling around. I'm so curious.
Let's just go crash it.
I mean, I don't want to have anything to do with that.
No.
I don't even, honestly, I don't even know if I want to touch it.
But the
people
who are hosting that really enjoyed the last episode of the podcast we did.
Oh no, I definitely.
I did. You know, what's funny?
Got a lot of personal.
We did get a lot of like
DMs
from people that we like met at events over the years, and like I don't want to blow anybody up or anything,
don't
but
blow anybody up.
They were just very funny messages. If these people had no idea like what we actually believed this whole time,
I think that there are people who don't have any idea what our museum is about. People who've never even like remotely paid attention to the message of the museum at all, like even a little bit. They're like, oh, they're clearly just doing the exact same thing.
I mean,
everybody's in like, look here.
I don't know, man.
The only way that we could do it would be if we framed it in a campy way.
It's Annabelle. It's campy.
Yeah, I know.
It's not even.
I could.
They use oven mitts with crosses hand stitched into them.
What if I dressed up like Annabelle when we do it? Look, maybe it's too much. But
do we really want to invite it?
Do
we want to invite the comparison?
No, but no. You're right.
I don't know.
Everyone's saying do it. Well,
you know what? Bigfoot's ghost has it right. We should try and channel Lil Wayne again.
Yes! Everyone's saying we would know the truth.
Well,
we already know the truth.
Let's you know, it would be very funny. We could do one of those very funny things.
Let's exorcise Annabelle.
That's what we'll do. Let's do a distance exorcism of Annabelle.
Yes.
And then
we'll
just forever from now on, we can be like, no, we exorcised Annabelle. There's nothing there.
We exorcised Annabelle.
There's nothing there. God, it's like the most annoying. It's like using their own powers against them.
I feel like they would. Honestly, though, here's the thing. I feel like if we did it, they would be able to use that information in a manipulative, weird way, probably. And I don't know if I necessarily want to do that. But
fair.
I feel as if there's a fun being the key word here, potential way to do something like that. That maybe we'll have to think about it.
Can't exercise what ain't there, Alex says. But if there's nothing there, it's going to look like a real good exorcism.
God. This is
it's real strong, isn't it?
It's so strong.
Yeah. These things have also been like sitting in that mini fridge for
It's my Arrested Development joke. If you open vodka, you have to drink it all or it goes bad.
You don't want it to go bad.
You don't want it to go bad, obviously.
Somebody said, is that paprika next to the laptop?
No, that's the brick dust.
This is brick dust from Ed. This is from
if you listen to the last mailbag, we opened some brick dust, and this is it for reference, so you can see it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't want to put Ed's full name on there. Well, there we go.
I think Ed would be all right.
Okay, but Ed, this is what Ed sent us.
Yeah.
It does look like paprika, though, for sure.
You sure you don't want a good spaghetti dinner in a couple weeks?
No, I don't want to.
It's only like $300.
You know what it
for
would feel? Just the
noodles.
vibes. The vibes would be like, it'd be like standing on the sun, just like.
God, what if we went and we wore those like Groucho Marx disguises?
Just
you know?
mustaches
Yeah,
and
and then,
glasses.
And then tan coats.
No, we need to stand on top of each other and be a giant man. Hello. We just walk really slow.
I'm here
We're just one guy.
one spaghetti dinner, please.
Yeah, that's what we gotta do. Brick dust eggs, exactly. Yeah, that's what we have to do.
Geez.
That's the plan. I like it.
Very funny. Hey, April says we did pronounce Houstonian.
Oh,
correctly.
really? Okay, good.
There you
Good
go.
to
There you
know.
Oh, we could wear our Ed and Lorraine Warren costumes from
Yeah,
Halloween. They'd let us write in.
they would probably let us write.
Could we
it.
like rig ourselves up so we look
You know
like
what?
we're glowing,
maybe
glowing
they
and
wouldn't let us
floating?
in. They'd be like, we know who they are.
No, you didn't. Not you put the pictures in the
No,
obituaries.
no.
Half of the people at the
Yeah,
event
Emmy,
will have shared
Liz
it.
and Lou can crash it.
That's true. Liz and Lou can do
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
Oh, I don't want something crawling inside of them.
No.
Not a bad thing.
Not a Warren thing. No thanks.
No
no
anyway,
way. Yeah,
just,
so
just
Annabelle's
wanted
on
everyone
the
to know
loose.
that Annabelle
Checking all
is
this,
safely contained somewhere at a spaghetti dinner
maybe.
coming to a town near you.
Or she's under your bed in your closets. Double check just in case. If you're scared of Annabelle, because I'm not really scared of Annabelle. I'm not really scared.
Should we
of
do
Annabelle.
Liz and Lou spaghetti dinners?
Oh my god. The idea too of the spaghetti dinner is so funny to me. It's such a funny thing. Spaghetti, you can't keep.
It's just the funniest
you
thing to
can't-
have, like a
spaghetti is
pasta
not
dinner.
It's not like a. I don't think it's a.
like it's a VFW fundraiser.
Yeah, it gets cold really fast.
It's so weird.
It's so gross, and it's because it's easy.
Well, actually, people left comments
Mhm.
on the season finale of the podcast talking about how they've actually like attended some of these spaghetti dinners.
Yeah.
And one guy was like,
No way! People left comments.
"Oh yeah," they were
Get-
like, I've been to one of them,
I
and
don't
just so you know, they serve more than spaghetti.
No shit.
It was very funny. It was very funny. Anyway,
Yeah, there we go.
there you go.
Vegetarian chili dinner with Liz and Lou. That's what I.
Vegetarian chili. There you go.
The vegetarian chili would be amazing though,
Yeah.
because we make a really good vegetarian chili.
They're
We always-
talking, we're eating. So
We have this ongoing joke with Carl and Connor about the vegetarian chili because Greg and I have made it consistently because it's kind of like the easiest thing to make for a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And Greg and I are like, this is the greatest
And it's
chili
like
ever.
it's always good.
It's our consistent.
We think anyway.
Yeah, it's our consistent meal. So like usually the first night that everybody shows up, we have the slow cooker going and everybody just eats chili. And everybody has consistently said since the beginning of doing it that they love, like, oh yeah, I love it. And Greg and I once were like, wait, what if they don't love it? And we've been like torturing them with
this whole
like,
time, this
food.
entire time we've known them.
Yeah.
Because I think it was the first thing we made
It
when
was.
when they showed up
Yeah.
the very first time.
So now it's that like ongoing. I now have like a bit of like suspicion about whether Carl and Connor actually like.
Just order pizza from now on. I guess.
chili.
It's just pizza.
It's pretty good.
Oh, cripes.
Aw.
Anyway, well, there you go. That's happening.
Yeah, she's out there running around, causing mayhem.
It feels like Annabelle being loose. It's the least terrible thing in the news.
It's whimsical.
It's the least
fun.
terrible
It's
thing
fun.
in the news. Maybe
There's
that's why MSNBC. Maybe I'll just shut my mouth.
It's a fun. Isn't it fun? Whimsical that Annabelle the demon is literally loose in the world. I'm like, I'm not sweating it. I'm not sweating it. I'm good. Where's Connor?
Connor is finally off from the Capitol.
He's free.
We've already been like Connor and I have been having like meetings consistently
Mhm.
like all the last couple of weeks, just planning stuff for the rest of the year.
Mhm.
We're planning one of the things that Connor's working on right now is planning UFO summoning part 2.
Mhm.
I know we've been putting that off. We just
Mhm.
wanted to make sure that we did it at a time when we could have everybody and make it a big deal.
Yeah.
He's planning that right now. We've been talking about the podcast coming back. I think it's safe to say that, there will be a special
It's a
series.
spoiler. It's a spoil. It's spoiler
Yes.
for you guys.
We're working on a special series because, as you know, we are shooting Hellier right now. So things are kind of crazy. So it won't be a full season of the podcast that comes next. It'll be a kind of like a mini special series where every episode is sort of an extension of the previous one.
Yeah. It's a very cool.
It's really
it's
going to be
cool.
great. I think you guys are going to like it, and I think it's going to be necessary, and it's something that people have been asking for
Yes.
a while.
Yeah.
And we've been planning on doing this for a little while. In fact, originally we were going to do it in the last season, but just the schedule just got whacked.
It's going to be a really useful, incredibly fun, but also informative. Like,
Yes.
like it will be.
You will be able to refer
learn
people
so many
to it.
things. Yes, exactly.
You'll be able to refer to it yourself.
Yep, you can reference it. It'll be great. It's going to be, I think, really, really useful while also being really fun and entertaining.
Yeah. So that is on the way. Somebody did ask if it was about Hellier. It's not about Hellier.
It's not about Hellier.
Although we do have some ideas for when the next season comes out. I can't make any promises on when that is, but hopefully sooner rather than later. Things are going swimmingly.
Yes. We always like to do fun complementary things with like stuff like Hellier and the Unbinding. So there will be other things that are associated with it. And yeah, like Greg said, it's going well. It's going really well.
We're all very, very excited about it. We're very, I mean,
I laughed too hard.
We're very excited about what you guys are going to get to see. It's insane. I can barely believe it. So anyway, that's kind of been the main focus, but we will have the podcast that'll be back at some point this year. We're still kind of working that out. Obviously we'll give you guys all of the tour dates for the mini tour that we're doing. We weren't going to do another one. I know we talked about this in the podcast, but we weren't going to do another one, but so many people were disappointed they didn't get to see it in person.
It's going to be a really limited run, really.
And our tour manager, Scott, just the greatest dude, did a really good job on putting some places on the list that people have been asking us to get to. So
I would love to do a live stream with Scott where he talks to us randomly just about how I'm convinced that Scott, the world of event like management is like the John Wick world. I'm convinced of it. And they go to their own, like they have their own conventions that they go to.
Connor's in here. Look at that. Hey, Connor. See? Told you.
He's here.
Connor's been hard at work on all the cool shit.
There he is.
For later this year. Some stuff you get to see sooner rather than later. We'll have the full list of dates and cities for the mini tour Saturday. I think we're posting them on Saturday. Not all of the tickets are going to be on sale, but we'll have links to everything. We can't control that,
unfortunately.
Here's the thing. We always start out with good intentions, going like, don't announce the tickets until this point, because we'll have all the marketing.
And then they do whatever they want.
And then venues get very excited, and they announce them first. And then inevitably what happens is somebody ends up going, oh, I didn't know you were going there. I bought tickets to this one because they were on sale first and we hadn't announced it yet. That said,
you guys,
Fitzgerald's is the ones that announced it, and we fucking love Fitzgerald's. It's like the coolest venue.
Yeah, and it's sort of the most consistent one that we've done. We've done Fitzgerald's every single tour, every single time we've gone to Fitzgerald's. It's just great. It's like a wonderful. It's like a comedy club. Like it has low ceilings. It's really intimate. It's a good vibe. It's
oh my god, San Antonio's on sale too.
Oh my gosh, really? San Antonio.
We're going to San Antonio. We're doing
surprise.
We're doing San Antonio, Dallas.
I've never been to San Antonio.
Me either.
I'm excited.
San Antonio, Dallas, and then Houston, I believe. I don't think we're doing Austin this time.
I don't think we're doing Austin.
Anyway, our Scott he did text me again the other day, and he's like, "Hey, I've got another one perfect on the
Get out of here! Get out of here!
We can't. We literally.
We're doing too many things.
We have to finish Hellier. It's the most important thing. And then there's like 2 other things that we're working on that we haven't even teased to you guys yet.
Yeah.
That we're also very excited about getting out there too.
We laugh too hard.
There's not enough of us. It's a problem. We've got to figure this thing out. Should we start AIs that can respond? Should we just feed AIs all of our stuff?
Oh my god. I don't even. You know what? It would be
like joking about it.
I know you gave me cold chills. First of all, don't manifest that. Secondly, I would hate to see what the AI version of me would be. I'd probably hate it. I'd be like, oh, really?
Oh man.
This is me.
So, what What do we got? What do we got here? Out of curiosity, what are you and Dana's wrist sizes in inches?
I don't know.
How do you...
How do you do it? Do we probably obviously just a measuring thing?
I
tape.
guess so.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll have to look. We'll have to get a like cloth one that we can. I don't. This is
If
not
I had
helping.
a dollar
It's
bill
not
on me,
helping.
I could probably figure
Well,
it out. I don't know.
have
What does
one.
that? What does that look
What
like
is that?
to you?
Extra.
I don't know.
Cute.
I don't know. But I am curious about why you're asking.
We got tickets to Fitzgerald's. Yay!
I'm so stoked. What if we did a mailbag that's all Jason Gowan stories?
Oh my God, that's a kind of a
It's
great
actually a
idea. You
fun
know what
idea.
we could market it as like the Jason Gowan takeover, like My Pet Monster. Jason Gowan is like he's the archetypal My Pet Monster.
That's a fun idea, actually.
He would love it too. He'd be
would.
so funny.
He would be down for that.
I love that idea. That's and he honestly, his stories are hysterical,
Yeah.
and
You know what we'll do?
that is very cute.
You know,
I love that idea.
You know what we'll do? We'll probably see him before too long. Maybe we'll try and do that instead of. It's always more fun when we can sit and do that in person.
Sure, yeah. We'll do it like interview style,
Yeah.
and we'll be like, you have an hour and a half. Tell us your best stories.
Or we'll just fucking talk about
It'll be
whatever
him.
happens because there's so many stories.
It's just gonna be him and three young children running around him, which is I feel like what they do all the time, screaming at the top of their
That's
lungs.
true. That's true.
Manifesting Gowan into reality.
It's so weird that he, of all my friends, is the one that ends up with the most kids.
Yeah.
It's
Of course,
the
he's
funniest-
he's
it's
the
the
most
funniest
dad guy
thing
I
to me.
know.
He wasn't when I knew
No,
him,
he
but
definitely
now,
wasn't.
but he's turned into a very good dad.
He's a great
It's
dad.
very funny
He's
how that
very, very
happens.
cute. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's adorable. I love that idea. I think that it would be very fun.
Yeah, I think we could do that. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will let you know. We finally Gowan can tell the versions of stories his way, so he can paint Nick however he wants. We'll be like, Gowan, the microphone's yours. Go nuts.
Oh my God.
Go
It's
nuts.
funny. I was thinking about Jason the other day. I
Yay,
was going-
Sandra, we'll see you at Fitzgerald's.
Oh, that's so great. I'm so yeah. Everybody submit your own story about Jason. He saved you from Bigfoot.
I mean, he definitely wouldn't say Jason Gowan and I ran from what we thought was Bigfoot once. And the two of us,
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
it was me and Gowan. We were running in the dark next to each other like this, like just running for our lives. And the two of us are, arguably slow runners, and so it was me and Gowan, and we were like, and we were running, and bits of gravel were literally flying past us because something, whatever it was, I don't know if it was Bigfoot. I like to imagine that it was, but it was a large thing running behind us, and the two of us were just running for our lives.
Carl, Dana, go nuts. Me, donuts? Might not know this about Carl. Carl's got a bit of a sweet tooth.
Carl, we found a backup donut place. So
It's not as good.
It's not as good, but that's why it's a backup donut place. So
We've been eating donuts for like 3 days.
What we have, this is probably why I saw someone say that I'm really hyper tonight, and it's probably just because I've nothing but
We
sugar
have been
coursing
eating a
through
lot
my
of
veins.
sugar,
I know.
and I mean these things. I can't imagine
This is
how
my
much
first
sugar is
one.
in this.
So much.
Oh, they don't
sugar.
have to list the ingredients. They don't have to list that.
There's a lot,
'cause it's
probably.
booze. It's 100 calories.
So there's a place in Cincinnati called Holtman's Donuts. If you've ever been to
It's
Cincy,
incredible.
it's like the fanciest donuts, the most extra donuts, and they're worth it. Like they're that good. And so whenever Carl and Connor are at the house, we always get Holtman's Donuts because they're amazing. And Holtman's Donuts is what has given Carl his nickname, which is
Well, it changes.
it changes depending on the visit.
Sometimes it's 2 donut Carl.
Sometimes it's 4 donut Carl.
Sometimes it's 5.
Sometimes it is. The point is, the number changes, but it's always Donut Carl because
we are just big snackers.
we are a snacky group.
This group is very snacky.
Do you know what?
We're
We're not-
always munching.
We're not good at meals. We are a snacky
That's
group.
true. We're not
I
super
feel
good
like
at
we would
meals.
all be happy.
We're always
scrounging.
grazing.
Like
Yeah.
someone's always eating cereal.
Connor likes his snacks.
Connor's a Pringles guy.
And Connor's a gimmick guy like I am.
He is,
So
yep.
we are always like,
And
if there's
Con-
something new we haven't tried
Yes.
before, or a flavor or something, we got to do it.
Connor and I have the same palate, which is like we like 10-year-old food.
yeah.
10-year-old's food, like fish, not fish, but like chicken strips.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nugs.
Nugs, yeah.
Nuggies.
We
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we like chicken nuggies.
This is
Exactly.
very nice, Holly. I have to thank you for inspiring me to get into magic. After asking questions at last month's Fireside Chat, I started getting some books and a set of tarot cards.
That's so good.
It's wonderful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. Have so much fun. Explore and have fun and find things that make you feel full of magic and good stuff.
Somebody said you should try Hertz Donuts. Guess what our
That's
backup
the
donuts are?
backup.
That's the backup.
That is the backup.
But here's the thing. Not as good as Holtman's.
It's not.
I mean, it's
But
a fine backup.
It's a good backup.
Not even close.
But it's still
Holtman's
isn't.
are incredible.
If you are ever in Cincy and you are a donut,
Yes.
if you're a donut head like we are, make sure you go to Holtman's Donuts because it's amazing. What was the donut place in Estes Park that we went to?
They're not there anymore.
Oh no.
Bigfoot Donuts.
Oh, that's
I
right.
think they had to close.
Oh, well, that sucks.
They were doing all that construction in Estes Park,
And it
and I think
screwed
it
them
just
up.
screwed them up because people didn't know they could go there.
Their store was so cool.
It was
because
so cool.
Their
It's a
donuts,
real bummer.
Yeah, their donuts were incredible. Like they were so good, and they had like a little makeshift museum that it was actually really good. It was full of like real original casts. It was amazing.
Jason, this is very relatable. Jason is a snacker, but transition to dry fruits, veggies, and dip, or hummus, which lasts a day or two until they all spoil.
Yes, I
And then
know.
I crack open the chips.
Yeah.
I always have good intentions.
I know.
I love hummus. Like
Yeah.
I could just eat like carrots and
We
hummus.
are a big
and,
hummus house. We
Yes,
eat a lot of
of
hummus.
it.
Everybody, yeah, we all eat hummus.
I
like
never
crazy.
used to though. I was like a weird,
Hummus is my
I had
jam.
a weird thing against chickpeas. I guess I don't know why. They always grossed me out.
I was very lucky.
Because they got penises.
Do they?
You ever looked at a chickpea? It's got a
They
little,
do.
It's got a
they
little
do.
weenie.
That's true.
And I think that's just a holdover from being a kid and thinking they were gross for some reason. They were always slimy. They come out
Yeah.
slimy. It wasn't really because of the wiener. I'm
Hummus
fine
is
with
so
that.
good though. Chickpeas are great. I'm very lucky in that I grew up. My best friend is from the Middle East, so the
What?
amazing food that I get to eat.
See, here's the thing. Amy started making her own hummus. Carl and
Amy and
Amy
Carl are, like,
very good cooks.
they're foodies,
They
for
are.
sure.
Carl figured out like had his little pizza oven.
Dude,
like, has
it's
some of the best pizza I've ever eaten.
Carl's
Carl has learned to
Pizza
make.
Restaurant, which is his backyard, is like the best outdoor pizza
It's
restaurant
true.
I've ever been to.
That's true.
And if you go to Carl's Pizza Kitchen, outdoor pizza kitchen, he'll feed you until you are ready to burst.
Justin,
Right?
what is? Yeah, he will. Justin just said, thinking about heading to Point Pleasant this fall outside of the Mothman Museum and the TNT domes. Are there any other must-sees out there?
I will always say, even though the people who own it are grumps, I love the Low Hotel.
The Low Hotel, I think it's for sale. Maybe you can pop in.
Yeah.
Take a look.
Take a peek if you can.
Hillbilly Hot Dogs.
Hillbilly
is
Hot
Not
Dogs.
too far away. I mean,
Please
it's like a
go to-
half-hour drive, I think.
It's worth it.
It's
so worth
absolutely
it.
worth it.
It's so worth
It's
it.
really fun.
Yeah.
Try Hillbilly Hot Dogs.
Try it for sure.
I mean, obviously, go to the Bridge Memorial. Check out the
bridge,
murals,
yeah.
like along
Spend
the
some
side
time
of the.
there. It's got
bridge.
Yeah, spend some time there.
There's not a ton to do. They have a new escape room there. The coffee joint that they have there is really
It's
nice.
great. You know what's nice about Point Pleasant? The downtown area is really, really about like walking around. So start at one side and just walk all around. Explore. Explore as much as you can because it's an easy place to walk around.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, definitely. The Low is pretty spooky and it's very, very weird and haunted. So you got to check it out. But the people who own it are grumpy. And they don't like ghost stuff.
No, they don't.
They don't like Mothman stuff.
No. They're
They
selling
don't like it.
Maybe they're going to sell it to somebody who is, interested in that type of stuff, and we could stay there again.
Keelan, that sounds incredible. My post-work snack is Triscuits, cottage cheese with horseradish, and dill. Wait, I missed the bottom part of it.
Cottage cheese.
That is amazing. You know what? Here's the thing. Keelan, I know Greg doesn't like cottage cheese. I love cottage cheese. I'm also a big fan of Triscuits, and it makes me think of how Spike would crush up the Triscuits and put it in blood because he likes the texture. In Buffy. Yeah, Triscuits are so good. Is Abby going on a trip? She's using road trippers to planets. That's cool. It might not work so good.
No.
I hope it
Good
works
luck.
for you.
We can all be honest. Nobody that we know works there anymore. I think they sold.
They sold it.
I don't know.
We have no.
You know what?
loyalties
Here's
to
the
it
thing.
anymore.
It used to be so cool because there were no like It wasn't branded.
Yeah.
There were no Walmarts on it.
Yeah.
It wasn't full of like Starbucks. It was,
I knew
the original intention of the app was cool. It was so that you could avoid all of the corporate stuff.
Yeah.
Because it only highlighted like mom and pop restaurants and
Yeah.
off, roadside oddities
Yeah,
and
like
things like that.
little museums and antique stores and
Yeah.
cool.
Now it's all corporatized.
I have this very distinct memory of the content team. One of our, I won't say her last name, but one of our the people that we worked with, her name was Anna.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
And Anna, who we love very much, had to write the first horrible content partnership, and it was like the worst thing.
The world of marketing and
It's-
advertising
it's-
is a demonic realm.
We
let
got,
me tell you.
we were very lucky in that, like, our real role was that initial like building of the idea and kind of creating like a structure, and then people could then take that structure and kind of do whatever they wanted with it. But poor sweet Anna.
Who was it for?
It was for Priceline.
It was something like that. It was something like Priceline.
She had to write a series of blogs
because
as
that's
if-
what we did. We were the content team, so
Yeah.
all our job was always like to write articles, like
Yeah.
in-depth articles about the best way to visit a place. Like
Yeah.
it was the coolest part. You get to call people that like you called the Mutter Museum.
I got
and
to
said,
interview them, talk to
"What-
them about their. I asked them what everyone goes and wants to see the colon, obviously.
Obviously,
I mean, you should, right?
yes.
But what is the director of the museum? What was her favorite piece? And she had one very specific piece that was a heart that had belonged to someone who they said had died from a heart attack or from like a loss,
a broken heart.
a broken heart. Yeah.
Oh,
and they
wow.
have it with like the folklore and the story around it. And I was like, that's so cool that like, I'd always want to know if you see someone, this person spends, hours and hours in this museum, what is the little treasure in there that they wanted other people to see that kind of gets overshadowed by literally and figuratively by the giant colon, because that's a big ass colon. People want to see that colon.
Anyway, that's the type of stuff we would do.
Yeah, poor Anna.
And then the investors were like,
The
we got to make
investors.
some money here. We're burning our investment.
Yeah.
So we started to do brand deals where we would have to do like, it was guides dictated by a brand, like for Ford or something
Sometimes
like
it was
that.
fun,
Sometimes they were
sometimes it was
fun.
great.
Airstream, who eventually bought Road Trippers, did it.
Yeah.
But Anna had the worst one.
Poor Anna.
Because it was a POV blogs, like travel blogs.
And you have to understand, Anna is literally, just to paint you a picture, Anna is the most sarcastic human being you'll ever meet. The most sarcastic person. She's one of the funniest people.
She's very funny.
She's incredibly
Her and her
sarcastic.
sister wrote a book. If you want a fun book, it's called
Yes.
Badass Civil War Beards.
It's just about
And it was because they're history nuts, and so it's just like the greatest beards from the Civil War.
they collected
Yeah.
photos of the best beards, and it was like they sold it at like Urban Outfitters for a while.
Yeah,
I
it was,
think.
it was super cool.
Yeah, so
So anyway,
Anna
very
and her
creative,
sister-
very like fun, kind of sarcastic.
Yes.
And had to have been the worst torture in the world.
Yeah.
Had to write a series of travel
A series, not just one, like 10 articles.
of travel blogs from the perspective of a hamster. Because they were like,
A hamster.
it was what was the fucking brand
There-
10 years ago that was like the hamster family, and everyone was human except the hamster, who was like the dad or the uncle or something.
Yeah, and it
And
was
she
like
had to write it from the voice of the hamster.
she had to write, and like the problem this is a problem. So like imagine that you're like you
Kia. It was Kia.
that's exactly what it was. It was
Kia.
a Kia.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Trisha.
So she had to write articles from the perspective of a cartoon hamster who was in a family with real people.
Like Stuart Little.
Like Stuart
yes.
Little. And the worst part is, part of what sucks about brand deals is sometimes they don't like it. And you have to
Oh,
do
you
it
have to do
all
it
over
again.
again. You have to do it all over again. And I think that it took her a little while to figure out what the tone
She had
was.
to find the voice.
She had to really
of
embody the character.
hamster dad or whoever the fuck he was.
She had to embody the character. Yeah, it was the Kia, exactly. And poor
Kristen, I'll be honest, I think I could excel at that very specific job.
I feel like it is somebody's perfect job, but poor Anna, she's just very sarcastic. Anna's like the living embodiment of like Daria.
She's very dark.
She's very Daria.
Anna
So
just had a kid.
and she just had a kid, yeah. And she's a triplet. I'm giving away a lot of information about Anna right now. The reason I'm saying this is Anna's a triplet who was born, and her brother and sister were born on the same day as me. So I always joked that I was part of the triplets. But I was born...
Sherry, marketing is totally a demonic realm.
Yeah, it is.
I like to pretend I'm the good white wizard doing my job.
Yes, Gandalf the White.
Yes.
Sometimes it's cool and it's a fun, interesting thing. And when you get to use it for good and for creativity, it's truly one of the best feelings on the planet to like create fun things. But sometimes you got to write a hamster article for IKEA.
We knew the writing was on the
It
wall.
was so bad.
That our time at Road Trippers was coming to an end.
Yes.
When we were being asked, and we'll remind you, we were hired because we had an encyclopedic knowledge of weird shit.
Yeah.
Because we were like, highlighting weird roadside attractions and stuff. The writing was on the wall. We knew it was over when we were getting assignments to write articles to appeal to soccer moms.
Yeah, and we were like,
And
well,
what do we know? I don't know anything about
Yeah.
this. What they're like, here's a diaper brand
Well,
that
and-
would like a road trip for moms with young children.
and just so that it makes sense, initially we were writing articles about like haunted like jails.
I was writing about
and,
blood
like
stains
the
that
ghoul-
won't come off of a wall
Yeah, like
in
the
Pennsylvania and Jim
necropants.
Thorpe, PA. you know?
Yes.
Yeah. Or like, stuff like that.
Like really, like kind of stuff that like people with the knowledge
Breaking
of the
Bad,
paranormal would- yeah,
every filming location for Breaking Bad.
True.
Yeah.
Fun stuff, some fun stuff
It was real
to
weird.
diapers. Exactly, it was a rough pivot. Thankfully, we didn't have to do it very long.
Yeah. It
And random dead birds. Exactly.
yeah.
We really
And
love
Random
that dead birds.
That was fun.
I love that.
They were
That's
good.
a very weird
good
thing to say
times.
for people who don't know what we're talking
Startups, if you ever have the opportunity to work for a startup at the very beginning,
about. Yeah.
you should take it for sure.
This was also at the very beginning of like social media being like a real thing.
it was
that,
before
like,
the algorithm
Yeah.
really kicked off and ruined things.
One of the things that worked so well was that they invest. I don't know if I'm giving away too much company business, but like they
Nobody works there anymore.
They
don't even own
invested
it.
initially in. Remember back in the day when Facebook was like the place where every human being was. And there were like things, there were pages that you could like I like this page, and like it would be about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they invested in getting the page that was just about road trips.
Just road trips.
So basically, Greg and I had like 3 million people every single day that we could like give a cool location.
Yeah,
to, and be like,
yeah.
oh, here it is, and you can book it, and Road Trippers is free, and all that kind of stuff. So that was the very early days of when the algorithm basically was not in place, and you were like reaching 3 million people all at once.
Startups are cool.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, they're really stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were times where like you didn't know if you're going to get paid that week. The next round of investment has to come through. Like
Lots and
you're
lots of
working
hours.
constantly.
You're on
like
call
you're on
all the
clock.
time.
I still to this day Slack gives me nightmares. I have nightmares of
Yeah.
Slack notifications
The
at 2
sound-
a.m. from
I think
the
that-
engineering team being like, we have a problem.
I think anybody who has an internal Slack system in their company, even if it was 10 years later, if you were to play the sound randomly in the middle of the night of the Slack notification going off, that person would launch out of bed like Dracula, like
Yes, straight up.
like literally just like
Yeah.
like you probably absolutely would, because that sound is so triggering to me.
The very beginning is fun because it's the Wild West. There's really like no rules.
There we go. Exactly. So I worked for a startup for 5 years. Great experience. Never again. Psycho CEO. Nope. It's an experience.
No, it's true.
It's for a lot of people. If you do it once, you maybe will never do it again.
You'll learn so much. Dane and I mean, we were not shy about saying that we probably learned more helpful things for our career working for a startup than anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it's a crash course in, the type of world that we would never have had access to.
Do you know what it is? It's a very up close look at somebody who's really, really, really in their moment of like trying to make their vision a thing in reality.
Yeah,
so
for
you
sure.
if you're not the person who's like in, creation of the company, everyone is in a startup, that's part of it. But if you're not the kind of CEO or like the creator of the company, you get kind of a very close up look at somebody who's like deeply like you learn how what not to do a lot of the time, which is sometimes a good thing.
But yeah, once it's there for a little while,
The
it's not much fun anymore.
I love that the Slack sound rises all of us from the grave.
There's so many people in here who
it's the worst.
relate, and I mean, trust us, we understand.
If I hear it, like even in like a meme or a TikTok,
Yeah.
I could start sweating immediately. I'm like,
oh, dude, I know. It's funny because Jason's like, that's why they stay away from the Discord.
yeah,
Partially kind of true. I do have really bad associations with like direct messaging systems where anyone can contact you like at any time.
Yeah.
Just because being on call like that, it gives me flashbacks.
It's definitely like there's like a little PTSD there.
There's a little
bit.
We also, you know what's funny? Speaking of road trippers, we went to like a week ago. We went to a really lovely baby shower.
People were very, very confused because on Instagram I posted a video of you walking into a Walmart wearing an entire from head to toe,
like a
night outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was royal themed, and you know what? I'll just have you know, Dana and I
made the best
high chair out of pipe cleaners for the egg, we ended up getting a nice little party set.
We did. We were very serious. We were like, we focused in.
We can build something for your kid, but we can't take care of a kid.
If you need a chair,
you need a chair made out of pipe cleaners.
Yeah, we are your person, but we can't take care of.
I think Agnes just had.
Agnes just did. Peach. Peach.
Yep.
Isn't that
Agnes.
sweet?
Yep.
Peach is the cutest name for a baby.
Cute name. Anyway, there's us working for a fucking startup for a while. You should try it, especially if you're on the younger side and you have the opportunity to work for a startup in the very beginning. Highly, highly recommended. You'll learn a lot real quick.
Yeah.
But if it's been operating for a while, you're probably gonna hate it.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah kind of nailed it. Slack teams are fine if you have a non-toxic management and good culture. Orgs with shitty boundaries will land you in therapy. Yup, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. That bad name for an executive, Peach. I don't think Agnes and Nate would let Peach go into a corporate job.
No,
they're too sweet.
Yeah, they're so sweet and sensitive.
They're nice people.
Yeah.
Agnes runs an animal shelter.
She takes care of animals. She's a good person.
The sweetest. Yeah, love Agnes. All right, what else we got going on?
What you got on there?
All right. You want to talk about what's going on this month?
Let's do it.
This month. First off, I want to say this. Connor texted me. Connor solved a little mystery.
He did?
He's going to write about.
He did.
It's
actually fascinating. Greg talked me through it today, and I was like, this is the coolest story ever.
Connor, every month, if you haven't noticed, Connor writes an article.
Yes. Please read Connor's articles. Fantastic. They're so good.
They are always about an article that's about something in the museum, and there's usually some kind of a cool thing. He's done like, we got a couple mumblers recently in the collection. One of the most famous ones that he wrote about the history of that. The one that he's doing this month it's
awesome.
Personally, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And it's about a little mystery that has to do with the Yeti. And Connor solved it, and he texted me the answer at like 1 a.m. this morning. And
Connor was deep. He's out of the Capitol, so he's up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Connor's awake at 3. Just know, Connor's up at 3, reading about weird shit.
That's true.
That's what Connor's doing.
That's true.
He's up at
living
3
the dream.
In the morning.
Come on,
researching weird shit.
Anyway, he solved a little mystery, one that I didn't know. And it was
it's so interesting.
It's very cool. I think you're gonna love it.
Yeah,
I think you're gonna be into it. It's a little bit different, but one of the things that we pride ourselves with the museum collection, the things that we're collecting, are things that maybe you wouldn't initially consider part of paranormal history. This is one of those things, and the story about what it is, what they got wrong, and how it was fixed is very fascinating. So that's what Connor's up to. So watch out for that. Make sure you read that. We're also doing I'm giving the artifact files. Artifact files, if you were always curious about this, the artifact files is usually just shit that I haven't tampered with at all. It's like a direct scan of like a rare self-published book.
It's very cool.
Or it's like an audio file from like a rare lecture that I found in like the Area 51 collection. It's stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
it's like its own thing.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm going to post this month, because people were curious about this and asking, it's not a screening. We're not doing a movie night this month just because we don't have enough time. We'll bring movie night back probably next month with a real fucking banger. I was just showing it today.
It showed up a couple days ago, and it is like, I don't want to. This is the thing. I don't really want to dethrone Rods, because I feel like Rods is great, but I feel like this possibly will.
It could be.
If not a runner-up.
It's another.
For sure.
This one's like real self-produced.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Anywho, it's I'm gonna give a direct VHS rip of a self-produced. That's not really a documentary. I wouldn't call it a documentary so much as it's like an interview. That is way too weird for movie night. It's just too weird for movie night. So you can just deal with it yourself. You can sit down and watch it yourself.
You can be as confused
as you want. Were. Yeah, it's the thing is when they're interviews, they're not always that like,
they're not compelling.
They're not
all the
super
time.
compelling to give commentary with. You know,
sometimes with that too, you like don't want someone giving commentary because they're gonna ruin the flow of the conversation. So it's best to just let it let it ride, baby.
Anyway, I think you'll dig it if you're in the Artifact Files, particularly if you're into like Stranger Things. I think you'll be stoked.
Yeah.
It's real weird. It's real weird. We're doing a special.
We are.
Connor's told us we're doing a museum mailbag special.
Is this next? This coming?
I don't know if it's this coming one.
Okay.
It's in a couple weeks.
But it is on the way. So wait, does that means that people still have time to send their stories in?
Sure.
Okay, so tell us what it's about.
It's about exploding head syndrome, because we found out about exploding head syndrome, and turns out a lot of you guys have it.
Yeah, apparently
and you
a lot
have
of
really
people.
crazy stories that have to do with exploding head syndrome.
If you've had the experience and you're comfortable telling, well, you can tell us anonymously too, but if you're comfortable sharing your story with us, please send us a little write-up about it, because we're collecting as many as we can, and they're so weird and interesting.
If you've ever had a specifically weird
you've had exploding head syndrome?
With exploding head syndrome. Yeah. I mean, all the time. Loud bangs wake me up.
Do you get it like, have you had it like recently?
I've
only ever had it one time.
Yeah, not a while.
And to me, what it sounded like was like a bookshelf falling over.
Yeah.
It was really like
loud
incredibly
bangs,
loud.
slams.
Yeah.
I get the doorbell once in a while.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
like
I hear
the
the
sound
doorbell.
of the doorbell.
Mm-hmm.
That sound can give you anxiety. We're millennials. That sound gives us anxiety.
For sure. There was a guy at the door
There was a guy at the door, and we were like,
the listeners. Who does that? And like,
is
that's a real thing still?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Trying to sell me some fake thing for the lawn.
Yeah. And then you know what we did? We went, shh, be quiet.
Close the curtains.
We did.
So we got real quiet.
We were like, the doorbell. Yeah, the doorbell is a loud one for everybody.
What is exploding head syndrome? We'll let you know on mailbag in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It sort of started with the conversations that we were having around sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
A lot of people who have sleep paralysis also experience exploding head syndrome. Sometimes they kind of go hand in hand. But some people have just had exploding head syndrome experiences, and they're very interesting. So I'm so curious about it. Nina says exploding head syndrome, but it's just the slack sound. Oh,
oh God!
Triggered.
Definitely, maybe that's what started my exploding head syndrome.
Probably. Jen says, I have both. Experienced both. A lot of people experience both. It's really common.
Oh, Nina was getting it before, or not Nina, Flatline Phoenix. I've had it a few times. I was getting it before I was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
Oh, interesting.
Because somebody else, I think Scoldasier, said that it just reminds them to put on their CPAP mask.
Oh, yeah, okay.
When they have it. So maybe it has something to do with like sleep apnea.
Maybe.
We'll find out.
We're going to find out. I want to hear your stories.
We're digging in. And we'll read some of your exploding head syndrome
Do you have
stories.
to be asleep or like on the edge of sleep? Probably.
I think it's like edge of sleep is usually when that type of thing happens.
Yeah, I think edge of sleep, sort of that weird floaty place, like right before you fall asleep, where you're still a little bit consciously aware of what's going on around you.
I think it is. I think, Sarah, I think it is related to sleep paralysis in some way. It has something to do with that like twilight stage of like half awake and half asleep.
They tend to go, if you have experienced exploding head syndrome, often people have also experienced sleep stuff.
Justin's grandpa had exploding butt syndrome. Me and your gramps have something in common.
That's incredible. I love that. I love the idea of explode. Well, that's what hamsters get. exploding butt syndrome.
Dana had a hamster.
A lot of people have. I don't know what it is. It's really sad. My hamster had it. We had to say goodbye. My hamster's name was Chip.
Dana and
Chipper.
her coven probably did some kind of backfired spell, and you turned somebody into a hamster.
Oh, like
and their butt exploded.
Yeah, I would never do that to a hamster. I love hamsters too much. They're very cute. But have you ever seen hamsters' teeth?
Yeah, they're cute.
My sister and I had hamsters, and when we were kids, we thought it would be a really good. And actually, no, it was my cousin Jen's hamster, and we thought it would be a really good idea to put our hamsters together so they could be friends. And we took our
Amy the rat. That's what you were gonna say.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
We've been watching a lot of Buffy lately.
Yeah. So my cousin Jen and I put our hamsters together, and they smelled each other, and then immediately started fighting. It was an all-out battle, and we had to separate them. No hamsters ever died normally.
That's
Keelan, why
true,
is that
Keely.
true? It is true.
Keelan, that's probably
New
true.
nickname just unlocked.
Oh.
That is so funny. Keelan, you're right. It's like just a known fact of life. That no hamsters have ever died.
Trisha, no spoilers, but is that how the Kia articles ended?
Yeah, literally. Oh my god.
They should have.
He died from exploding butt syndrome.
That's why we haven't seen him in any of the commercials lately.
Oh god, poor Anna. We should all buy Anna.
Oh god. Oh my god. Mona and Sheen just finished therapy where we told her to watch the Unbinding
Oh my god
podcast. What I missed. Well, hope your therapist doesn't go, they need to see me ASAP.
I mean, that's okay too. That's okay too.
Here's the other thing that's on the schedule. There's two other things on the schedule. We'll talk about this one first.
Yeah.
We're going to try and talk to Mantis Boy.
Yes, we kind of decided that if you haven't watched the last, if this is your very first Fireside chat, and if you haven't had time to check out any of the content lately, for this month's investigation, it would be beneficial if you watched the last 3.
You could maybe probably only watch the last 2. That's the only ones that Mantis Boy shows
okay,
up
so
in.
maybe the last 2.
I would say watch all 3 of them because the first
they were
one's
all kind of transitioning
into the weird in its own way.
Yeah.
And again, we haven't told you guys what those numbers were for.
Yes,
we will eventually.
Mm-hmm. You'll be obviously the first people to know.
But Dana kept running into this thing in those remote viewings where it was a kid wearing a mantis mask and a hoodie and wasn't talking, didn't speak.
No, the last one we did like a Stranger Things thing where we rode around on bikes, like
tossed some coins to a Bigfoot.
That was in a tent. Yeah. Like the last 3 have been really interesting. So it may be helpful if you have no idea what we're talking about to watch those. Also, you don't have to, and you can kind of just go for it if you want. Just go for it.
So we're going to do
very Donnie Darko. I agree, Phoenix.
We're gonna try and talk to Mantis Boy. I mean, it's weird because this is the thing. We're very open about this idea. We don't really know exactly what's happening when Dana does these remote viewings. Some people are upset. We call them remote viewings because they're not like military style. They're more like psychic questing kind of deals. But remote viewing, I think more people have an association and get the general idea of what it is. Are these things the archetypal symbols from the collective subconscious? Are they something from Dana's own mind? Is she objectively seeing something that is out there? We don't really know. All we know is Dana has a real knack for bringing back actionable intel from doing these explorations.
Sure, sometimes the situation and the circumstance around them are very strange and abstract. So sometimes what happens is we get workable and useful psychic information, but it comes out of a session that is very strange and abstract. Like for instance, interacting with a boy wearing a mantis mask riding around on a bike. So there's abstract kind of stuff around it, but in the process of kind of discerning through it or digging through it, we'll find like actionable intel that we can use. And so, one of the things that we haven't done so far is to involve the Estes method in this process. We've been just doing remote viewing stuff. We've been kind of collecting information and pulling things in. So,
and this is a distinction that I know we've made before, but I want to make it again. We've tried doing some different experiments. You could probably even find some back in the earlier live streams where we've tried combining the Estes method with the
God helmet. We've done it with the God helmet.
with the God helmet, or
With
with
white noise.
like the Gansfeld effect, which is what we're doing when Dana does a remote viewing. There's some people who've like, been doing this for a while and claim to get good results. We have had the exact opposite with it, and I think that it's the whole point of doing either one of those things is you're isolating your senses. So when you're overloading them both with visual and with like listening to audio
distracting.
stuff, I have a hard time believing that is working for people.
If you're
truly,
think of it this way, and maybe this is what will make more sense, because I think this is a good way to think about it. If you're doing something like this and you're going to go into a, like, for lack of a better word, a psychic state, right? I think that if we're stimulating psychically one of the senses with something that's very actionable, so for instance, we can use the Estes method as an example. If we're stimulating the ear, the auditory channels with sound, it's very, very distracting then to stimulate the visuals with stimulation. I think that
I've seen people use like flashing lights. We've
tried
done
everything.
a version of that before.
And again, here's the thing: if something works for somebody else, go nuts. But we've experimented with all of these different techniques, and personally, for me, what I've found is that immersion into that psychic state is better when one of the senses is being is utilizing the stimuli for psychic reasons. When you're trying to do it from both angles, you're like, oh, now I have to pay attention to this. Now I have to listen to this. It's very tough to get into a rhythm. And it's
tough, a lot closer to like your normal waking senses.
Kind of, because you're just sort of being bombarded.
They're both working, which I think defeats the purpose of what you're doing.
It could be an interesting experiment to bombard all the senses with stimuli and see what happens. I'm perfectly happy to try that, but I've found that anytime we try to kind of double up on things, it doesn't always, like, it seems like on paper, well, if one is working, the other one should work too. And I almost feel like the mind just needs to sort of focus in on one of those stimulus and bombardments, if that makes sense.
The only reason I bring that up is just to say, like, that's why we haven't tried doing both at the same time for these, because it just, at least for us, doesn't really work. It's easier to like pick one or the other. Are we like psychically questing with our eyes, or are we using our ears? And
and you're doing two different things in that process. Well, not really, but in one way you are, because you're allowing for, like, the Estes method. This is so incredibly stimulating. It really does sort of set the pace for the experience quite often. So the other alternative is like listening to white noise, maybe going more Gansfeld style, which is sort of like what we do for remote viewing. And I find that with that pace, when you're questing, it lets you set the pace yourself. You know what I mean? You're being kind of stimulated by the white noise, but it's not, it's more to kind of bring you into a more relaxed state, to get your subconscious juices sort of flowing a little bit more. Ew, I said juices, but you know what I mean? I found that is, for me, the best way to do it.
Point is, we're going to try and communicate with the Mantis Man using the Estes method this time. We don't use the Frank's box very often, so we're going to use that this time. Frank's box, if you're unfamiliar, is really the prototype ghost box that were invented originally to talk to aliens. That was the original point of every spirit box that you see on the market, that you've seen in ghost hunting television shows. The original purpose of those was to speak to extraterrestrials.
The Frank's box
ultra-terrestrials.
Was created by Frank Sumption.
He was speaking to extraterrestrial entities or ultra-terrestrials or whatever, but they weren't dead people per se. So we're going to be doing that this month, because Mantis Boy's shown up twice now, and he's just such a weird, interesting character that hasn't spoken. Right? So like, let's see if we can get something.
And I think that we finally like reached the point in it that it makes sense to start involving a little bit more communication, maybe on that level. We'll see what happens.
So people asked, is there going to be homework for that one? I don't think there's any homework for that, aside from, if there's questions that you have that you want to ask, that we can ask while Dana's under.
If you have, that's exactly it. So like, if you guys have specific things that like maybe directions that you think we should go in. Think of things that you want to ask because Greg can relay a lot of that in the moment.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's probably going to be a lot of like in the moment possible research. So like if there's names, if there's dates, if there's like things that we can research like in the moment. Well, I can't because I'm going to be doing something else, but you guys can do. So maybe, I don't know,
It's
have
hard
a
for me to do
computer
that
near you.
if I'm monitoring the comments and you at the same time, because I'm usually like trying to write down what you're seeing or hearing or
so
ask the questions.
If you want to be more actionable, if you want to like engage that way, that can be really helpful. There's a lot of people that will like be running kind of like research as it's happening, so they can look up dates and kind of dump it in the chat and like kind of keep if they find something they can share it. So that's sort of fun. So maybe something like that could be fun.
And if you've got, I saw some people say like, should we do a little incantation at home?
Yeah.
Do it. Use it. Go nuts. Anything that you think will help, even just to get you in the mood. Go for it. Maybe maybe I'll read an incantation to Dana before she goes under with the Estes method too.
Yeah, this is sort of like, imagine now.
I could just read the one from the last time because last time's worked real good and it was very specific for something we were looking for.
Yeah, that's a good idea actually.
So maybe we'll do that.
But either way, a line of questioning would be a good idea too. So start thinking of questions that you might have.
Cole asks, how many pages do you normally scribble through in a session? I mean, anywhere from
it's funny because
6 to a dozen usually.
He keeps them.
I have them. They're all like
over here,
somewhere down here in a big pile.
Yeah, but like they're everything's sort of kept and dated. So
yeah, you know, I'm curious about what's going on. I want to be able to go back and look at them without having to watch the whole session again.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice too because you'll have like in the moment thoughts and stuff like that. I will often look through Greg's notes because that is helpful for me. Sometimes I can't watch them.
You're not. Yeah,
it weirds me out too much.
We're weird that way with some of the stuff that we're.
I actually prefer transcripts. Like sometimes Connor will give us transcripts of stuff, and I'm like, I always like that more because I find that I'm a bit self-conscious about watching myself. I don't like it. I don't like to do it.
So that's happening, and then the other thing that's happening is we've been talking about this for a little while. We're finally going to do it. Dana's going to host her usual Magic of the Month class, but this time we're going to open it to all members. So if you're not in Magic of the Month, you can still come to the Magic of the Month class. This one is going to be all about empowering an object of your choice. It's very easy right now with the way that the world is to feel very powerless. We could all use a little bit of extra magic. So whether or not you feel like you need it, or it's something you've been wanting to do, if you have never dabbled in any kind of like magic before, this is a great way to start that. You can pick an object of your choice, and we'll have some instructions for some stuff that you can gather that will allow you to do this at home the same way that we're doing it here a few days before the stream. But pick an object that you'd like to empower, and something that you will make a magical object. We've sort of done versions of this over long spans of time. The idea of the Haunted Ramen Project. It's the same kind of idea.
Yeah.
So this one's just a little bit quicker. It's going to be in the form of the Magic of the Month class. Dana's going to walk all of us through empowering an object of our choice. Maybe it's a piece of jewelry that you wear. Dana has a great idea. Do your phone case.
If you don't know what to do, your phone case. Your phone case is with you. Emmy says it perfectly. Y'all can join our club, but you have to take your uncomfy pants off. That is a rule. A rule of Magic of the Month is that we can only soft pants. Only comfy clothes.
Yeah.
And snacks. Snacks is also very important to Magic of the Month class. We need a lot of snacks for grounding.
And the specific purpose is up to you. What do you want them to represent?
Oh, yay,
what
Shelley.
kind of a power do you want them to have? What is something, think about it. I love the idea of the phone case because
Shelley,
where does most of our stress come from?
Yes,
from
phones.
Fucking doom scrolling, right?
Yeah. Cleanse your phone regularly, friends, because your phone is usually the thing that you have with you at all times. It comes into contact with like yucky energy all the time, and it it's full of stressful vibes. So cleansing your phone regularly is a good idea. Shelley mentioned that she thought that the nose piercing was a good idea to empower your piercings. Because they're on you all the time. So if you have piercings, you want to empower those.
Yeah.
They're literally physically present on you. Jewelry is a nice example. I'll always say anything that you can think of is great. Anything that would be of importance to you. If it's something that you want to carry around with you, maybe make it something small.
Can we
'Cause
give
no
our
one-
cats unlimited power?
Yeah,
You should know they already do.
that is very true.
Cats are already very magical creatures.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess you could. I mean,
I love
if
that.
you really wanted to. We have a couple objects. You know, part of the reason that we were thinking about doing this is because we have a few objects that we would like to empower as well.
Yes.
And part of the reason, like, here's the thing: Dana could always just give instructions on how to do this, and everyone could do it on their own. But I feel like there is a very powerful collective egregore around the museum community. We're capable of doing so many more things together than we are separately. I feel it every time that we have one of these live streams. We've got people around. I feel it at the events that we go to and museum members are there. There's something special about the communal, call it whatever you want. Call it the egregore, call it the vibe of this group, whatever it is. There's some good energy there. And I think that it's wise of us to, when appropriate, tap into that together, to use each other for that kind of purpose.
This is think of this as and everyone needs this celebration. It's meant to be celebratory. It's meant to be fun. One of the things I can mention also is if you've never practiced magic before, you don't really know anything about it, like all Magic of the Month classes, it'll be structured where we'll have theory first and then practical. So we're going to go through with some theory and talk about what we're doing, all that kind of good stuff. And then the second half of the class will be a practical application. So we'll do the ritual literally together. So
Abby's been paying attention.
we'll talk you through it.
Communitas.
Communitas, baby.
Let's have that
Exactly.
communitas.
We've got that good communitas. And it's
the collective sauce.
yeah, a collective sauce. I like that. It's initiatory. We're gonna have a fun. It'll be a celebration. If you're a witch, if you're an occultist, if you're someone who practices magic, you're very much probably familiar with celebration being part of magic practice, but not everybody is. So if it scares you, if it's something that's a little bit weird, don't worry. It's going to be very fun. It's going to be very community oriented, very celebratory, and hopefully you get to walk away with a new skill that you can literally use to empower anything you want.
There you go.
For good.
There you go.
Maybe a little bit evil. It's okay.
There's a question on specifics. Can it be silver when silver is typically used for warding? Well, I would argue personally, if you're going to use it for some kind of a warding thing, maybe that would just give it a little extra bump. But I don't see any reason why not, unless maybe, you might be, if you already in your mind are like, well, silver's for warding.
Yeah.
Maybe empowering that thing to do anything other than warding, you're going to have like two sides of your brain fighting about that. So maybe that's not the best idea.
Yeah, if the folklore around silver specifically is very powerful for you and you attribute and you feel that sense of power about silver being for warding, it maybe choose something else. But if maybe you don't have those associations and you want to have a piece of jewelry that belonged to your grandma maybe, and the power of that is way more integral to it than the cool folklore around silver and warding. I think both are very cool options. It's really, the cool thing about it is it's really this is meant to be personal. The ritual is going to be really easy and simple. It should be very relaxing and enjoyable, but you can decide how you want it to be. So if you want to go into the folklore of something and change your mind and like pick a different thing, you can do that too, but it's totally up to you.
Yeah. So that's happening. That's going to be
Can
fun.
we imbue an object with gay energy? Yes!
Sure.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Happy Pride!
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. There's no rules. There's no rules. The only thing that there are some things that have worked for other people. And
yes.
And that's it. They're just suggestions because what gives you those chills might not be the same thing that gives somebody else those chills. And I think that it's important that it is, it's something that is meaningful and impactful to you. So one of the things that I love about the way that Dana does Magic of the Month, and part of the reason I think it's as popular as it is because you aren't telling people what to do. You're giving people suggestions.
Yeah.
It's always been compatible with any different belief system.
Yeah.
Dana really goes out of her way to not like, there's not specific gods
No.
or goddesses or anything like that. It's a lot of things that are like, what does this make you feel?
Yeah.
Latch on to that feeling and use it for this. And I think that that's the way that the best magic is something that is meaningful to you. And a really good teacher is somebody who understands that and can find ways to help you access those feelings the way that you need them to be accessed.
Sure. Yeah, and like you said, it will be like totally non-denominational. So
Yeah.
Even if your religion religion won't be involved in it, so don't worry
Yes.
about it. It'll be very fun. Everyone will have a good time.
Yeah. Anyway, we're very excited about that. You'll probably dig the things that we're going to empower in that. It's going to be fun.
It'll be very fun.
There you go, Heidi. Dana gives you the toolkit. You make the designs and you create.
I love that.
That's a great way to look at it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think all magic is best when it's being channeled directly from you, and those systems and structures can be very beneficial and helpful to give us, again, like a structure around it. And there's lots of often
that's such a cool idea. How many healthcare workers want to do this with your stethoscope?
Oh, I love that. I love that. You're
amazing.
literally walking around with a magic
talisman.
talisman. Yes.
That's really cool. And
That
it's
is
something
very
that you
cool.
literally use to help people.
Merm wants to know, can I empower D's nuts? Yes, you can.
Go nuts.
You can.
Skoldasir also makes a very good point about, a good teacher is someone who isn't like trying to pass on their agenda.
Sure, yes.
And
that's
that
very
is a
good
big
point.
issue in just about anything.
Yeah.
Magic in particular. I know that you guys, if you're reading, reading the latest grimoire, you can really pick up on the hang-ups that the author has.
Yeah, it's like
depending on how they practice their magic and how demanding they are, that you stick to their specific structure.
yeah.
You can all immediately go, like, one of the things you can tell about Crowley is he's got like major hang-ups about his religious upbringing.
Sure.
You can see that.
Yeah, it like filters through there.
Absolutely.
Or maybe he's working through his processing his
Yes.
trauma
Which
through
is-
his ritual.
Which is ironic because a lot of the things that Crowley says in like his diaries are, you shouldn't do what I do.
yeah.
You use it as a template and
Yeah,
then
that great
figure
example.
your own thing out. I get it. Not everybody's great at that.
You know
but
what?
you have to be careful because you could be regurgitating
Sure.
somebody else's like hang-ups.
It's like posting a tarot card reading for yourself on the internet. Often,
Yeah.
everybody else knows that there's a lot of the subconscious of that person deeply embedded in it, and sometimes the person doesn't realize it at all, that they're sort of like really being very vulnerable in that kind of way,
Yeah.
getting a lot of insight into the identity.
Yeah, so very excited about that one. I think that's going to be fun. And
It will be fun.
It'll be the biggest Magic of the Month class you've ever taught.
I think probably. I'm a little nervous.
You a little nervous?
Yeah, 'cause
no, you do these all the time.
I know Magic of the Month class is like
It has a different vibe.
it has its own very specific vibe. And the only reason I say I'm nervous isn't because I'd ever worry about the vibe changing at all because of other museum members being there. It's only because I get stage fright. People don't know this about me.
It's true.
I'm not a fan of like talking to big groups of people. It's easier for me. What's weird is it's easier for me here because I rarely look at how many people are watching. I don't really think about it. I like the idea of just sort of being in the moment. But when the pressure's on, I definitely get a bit of stage fright for sure. So you'll have to be nice to me.
Oh, come on.
Be nice to me.
Come on. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Dana's really good at disassociating.
I am very good at disassociating.
That's probably why she's such a good psychic.
I've used my
I mean,
childhood
I'm only-
trauma for something good.
Only half
Yay!
joking about it. So that's going to be very, very fun. I'm very
Oh,
excited.
it's so cool.
The question we're always asked: will Magic of the Month ever be available for Canadians?
Hopefully. Listen, now that Connor's here, a lot of those questions can really be explored.
We can start.
We can really kind of
we have
look
more
at them.
bandwidth to think about stuff like that.
My goal has always been to. I'm Canadian. I want to be able to help my Canadian witches be witchy, but
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
But again, we have better. We're closer now than we ever have been,
Yeah.
because now we can really dig in and figure out how to do it properly.
I'm gonna
If we
say,
can.
don't hold your breath.
Yes,
Because
I said
here's
if we
the thing:
can.
international stuff is the biggest nightmare in the world, and we love our international members.
Yeah.
Especially because I know that some of them are like watching in the middle of the night because of the time difference and things like that.
Shout out,
love our
shout out
international
Europe.
members, but you guys know it's an absolute nightmare to try to ship things that have like customs.
Yeah. Also,
particularly because there's so much plant material. Like we
there's
couldn't
a
have
lot
done
of-
this one this last month.
no, probably not.
Through the mail.
We'll figure out something. It's just gonna be. It's going to be a process. It is Magic of the Month is a coven. It is. It's a great coven.
Yeah.
Exactly. There'll be lots of awkward Dana moments for sure.
Well, it's. I know that yeah. Listen, we're exploring a lot of. We're gonna be exploring a lot of stuff this year, trying to make some of the things that Dana's doing more accessible. I don't know if that's gonna, I don't know if there'll ever be like a tier where it's just the videos or anything like that, because they are an integral part of being in Magic of the Month, and we don't want to, cheapen any of it. But we have been having some conversations with some really cool ideas that will allow you to have that same thing, regardless of where you are, or if you can get into Magic of the Month, or
There'll be yes.
Yeah.
Yes, without giving away too much.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, so there's that. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a really good one.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. And like we said, the tools are not going to be hard to get. It should be very easy, and really relaxing and fun.
Yeah. We're also exploring some other stuff that's maybe not necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily call them classes, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff we're working on just for museum members. And now we've kind of got a nice clear guideline.
Yeah, like a more a little bit more of it's an idea that you're going to be obsessed with. It's so cool, and it is a bit more of a structured thing, but like in a really very
weirdo
we'll
cruise.
learn a lot.
I can make you a
God,
promise.
I will never get on a cruise
I can
again.
make you a promise right now. You'll never find us on a cruise ship ever again.
Do you want to know something funny? I was telling this to Greg the other day that do you have like integral like places that you go to in nightmares?
Yeah.
Like, do you have places that are like sort of like focused in your brain?
Yeah,
like,
there's a swamp.
Oh yeah, your swamp
that I
story
see
is so
recurring
weird.
all the
Oh
time.
my God, that's so weird. I
I'm
forgot
in a
about
boat.
this.
I'm in a boat in like a
Yeah, can you
Louisiana
tell us
swamp.
the story? So this is
I'm
a
not talking about the full story.
Can you give us a little
I don't
bit
like
about it?
sharing my dreams. It's like the most intimate
He's a
glimpse
Scorpio.
into what somebody's. If you're good at deciphering dreams,
Scorpio.
you love it when someone shares their dreams, because it gives you such deep insight into what is going on in there. So I don't like sharing my dreams.
I am totally fine sharing my dreams. And I have nightmares about being on a cruise ship a lot. I have nightmares that I can't figure out how to get off the cruise ship, that I'm trapped there forever,
Yeah.
that like it's I have a lot of like cruise ship
And this is the
anxiety
thing.
dreams.
We should say this so like, nobody starts any rumors or anything. Any of the cruises we've been on have been lovely.
No, it's
They've
just
been-
the
they've been
nature
so
of the
fun.
cruise itself.
We've had a great time doing the paranormal cruises, particularly the ones that Bruni was doing. But it's funny because there were some people who couldn't believe that we didn't like
amusement parks?
theme parks, and we weren't like really big into theme parks. Same kind of deal where there's just something about cruising that is not.
Do you know what it is for me? I know
I just can't. It doesn't work for me.
I can nail it what it is. I don't like being trapped somewhere.
Maybe that's it.
I don't like feeling like I can't leave. And sometimes I think amusement parks give me that vibe, and I just don't like the cruise. That's my biggest in my nightmares. That's the focus of the cruise ships. Is like I'm like, oh no.
I also think they're absolutely terrible for the environment.
I mean,
I try to be
you're not wrong.
a conscious
Yeah.
member
That's
of the
okay.
planet. And I don't think that I could ever step foot on a cruise ship ever again.
Yeah.
If that's your thing, more power to you.
Yes.
Make it up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Offset your terrible carbon damage by doing something very nice for the planet somewhere else.
Yes.
That's cool, whatever.
Got to get that balance going.
But not for me.
That's okay.
Not for
okay.
me.
You know what? You're just honest. You're just being honest.
My brother, my little brother loves. He's
Your
like
brother is a cruise.
he and his wife, they're adorable. They're, I don't know, what is he, 25?
Yeah, 26, I think.
And they're
very cute.
very cute.
They go on
love
cruises.
Going cruising. They hang out with people way older than them.
They do. They go to car shows.
My little brother was born an old man, though.
He was. I feel
he's always been very stoic.
Nick has a very stoic disposition for sure.
Yeah. Oh my God! Somebody said Royal Caribbean has a 9-month cruise.
Some people literally sell their houses and just live on a cruise.
Listen, man. I mean, maybe if it makes sense for some people, like if you don't have anything else going on.
I mean, and that's your thing.
Yeah, especially if you're like retired or something, you don't have to worry about your meals, your entertainment's all there. You get to visit places constantly. I totally understand the allure. I just don't ever want to do it.
No.
Same thing with like here's the thing. It's not that I don't like theme parks, and it's not that I can't see the incredible feats that these are and how much joy they bring people. I see why people are so obsessed with like Disney. I totally get it. I don't like being told how to use my imagination.
Oh, yes. That is a very good point.
And I have a very hard time.
You're stubborn about it.
I'm very stubborn.
I'll see this how I want to.
Yeah. And so like, this is the thing. I go to the theme park once, I do it. That's great. I don't ever have to do it again.
Yeah. But you know what? Here's the thing. You did it.
Yes.
And there were things about it that you enjoyed, and there were things about it that you didn't enjoy. And at the very least, at the end of the day, you gave it a shot. You gave it a try. It was fair, and it was an honest attempt. And maybe you just don't like it. Some people probably would try to do something that you like doing and be like, "This is the worst thing ever." It's just about preferences.
We've been to Disneyland. Somebody said you're not going to Disneyland when you're here. When we're out in California, no. Well, there's probably people we should see when we're there. But no, we've been to Disneyland. Our friend Julie, once we went with Julie. Julie's a travel leisure writer, so like we went with her, and
she's a Disney expert.
She's a Disney expert. She's there all the time. We did every single thing that we should do, and now I've done it.
Yeah, you did it.
We've not been to Disney World. Maybe we could go to Disney World at some point, but I don't know. Whatever. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum. If it's fun for you and you're having a great time, go nuts. I just, the feeling that I hate more than anything is part of the reason why I don't like going to like a lot of concerts anymore, particularly like arena shows.
You think it's just
that
we're old now?
Maybe that's part of getting old, but I just don't like the feeling that I'm cattle, like I'm being like corralled. I don't like to be in the line. I don't like to like be forced to do that. That's my hang up though. Dollywood would be fun.
Dollywood, yes.
I love Dollywood. When are we coming to California? Oh, it's we're going to California for the mini tour. We have 2 dates. It was everybody.
Finally.
People were begging us to come to California, begging us, and so Scott got us 2 dates in California. I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but I'll have to post that stuff in a couple days anyway. So yes, the tour is coming to California, and then I'm not doing this show anymore. Like I said last time, I want to do a new show. We are not coming to Florida. I know that for sure. I think. Yeah, we're not coming to Florida.
I don't think so.
No, I think Southern California and Texas and Louisiana. Those are the only shows in the South. I know there's one in Ohio.
We're going to New Orleans.
I know there's one in Ohio, and I know that there's one in Illinois at Fitzgerald's, and there's one in Pennsylvania.
We're gonna have to dodge Annabelle while we're in New Orleans.
Oh no! What could possibly happen?
Throw spaghetti at her. Cold spaghetti. And
that's
spaghetti.
I've not been to Kings Island. We've lived here. Well, we did go for one thing, but they only had one ride open. It was for road trippers.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. You're a fan of like roller coasters and stuff. I can't do more than one. I can't.
Yeah, Dana's got a rule.
I can't. If I do it, I'm like nauseous.
scrambled?
My brains are all scrambled. I feel like every time I'm on a roller coaster, I'm like, this is taking
Dana to
days
go,
out of my life.
I got Dana to go on the Velocicoaster with me.
My brain is just I can hear it rattling around in my skull.
Good.
It was the worst.
That was the end.
The Velocicoaster or whatever it was called literally ripped like moonstone out of one of my necklaces. Like I literally went on it and then I got off of it and the moonstone was completely gone.
And I also want to say this too. If you absolutely cannot come to see this kind of extended tour that we're doing this fall,
yes,
there will be more. I promise. This
yes.
one we just don't have the bandwidth to do more than this.
Yeah.
And the reason that we're doing it is because we were able to get a couple places that people wanted us to go so bad during the last tour. But with everything else going on, with the things that we're developing right now, with Hellier being filmed, and then there's some other kind of extraneous stuff.
We're doing too much other stuff.
We don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah.
That's all. But when we have a new show,
yes,
we will make sure that
we'll do it differently.
We'll do that. We'll make sure we do that one big.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Where in PA? Pittsburgh, I think, and Philadelphia. I think we're doing the same.
Philadelphia.
I think we're doing the same place. That was the dinner. Patty's? That was the dinner party or the dinner one where we talked about throwing up and showed footage of Gowan barfing. It was
like one of the first. We have this joke that we told throughout the rest of the tour because one of the very first locations that we did, we didn't realize it was like a dinner party kind of deal. And there's literally at that point we took it out. There's literally a video of Gowan making like dry heaving vomit sounds,
hitting porcelain.
Yeah. He could tell us that story.
He could tell us that story. Yeah.
He will tell us that story.
City Winery.
City Winery. That's right.
Yeah.
AC's in there.
Anyway, we'll have more. I'll have more about the tour. In like 2 or 3 days. I haven't brushed up on exactly where they're going to be yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, I promise there will be more shows. There will be more tours. It won't be this show. This is the last time we're doing the show.
Yes.
Because after a while, I really get tired of repeating the script.
It's so
the same thing over and over. So this will be new stuff in this one.
There has to be.
There has to be.
Yeah.
Because
we'll go bonkers.
I'll go crazy.
Yeah, we can't do it.
So there will be new stuff. There is some new stuff we want to show you. There's some new experiments that we want to try with Liz and Lou, which is another big reason why we're doing this. And we promise there will be elements of this that you'll get to experience even if you can't get to the show.
Yes, and if don't worry, there will be a museum member live stream investigation on Halloween because we didn't do one last year because of the tour, and we knew that this year, no matter what, we have to always make sure that we have that. So we'll be with you guys on Halloween Eve,
just you, us, and Harlow,
spooky stuff,
and maybe some more people.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, yeah.
We're working on it.
That's true.
Where in somebody said where in Ohio? I believe Cleveland. I could be wrong.
Our arch enemy city.
But I believe it is
Cleveland.
I like Cleveland. I think Cleveland's cool.
Cleveland is cool. It's just
we'll have to go to that cool Angela took me to this fucking awesome restaurant.
I always think of whenever I think of Cleveland, I always think of Howard the Duck.
Oh, that's Cleveland.
Because it takes place in Cleveland.
Oh.
Beverly is like
Howard the Duck is got way too much hate.
When I was a kid, first of all, my mom let me watch a lot of movies I definitely should have been watching as a small child, and Howard the Duck is one of those movies. And I am convinced that I forget her name. Is it Lily? What's her name? The actress that plays. She's in Back to the Future. Marty's mom.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Anyway,
I want to say Wachowski, but it's not.
It's definitely not. Her name in the movie is Beverly, and Beverly has the best style ever. And when I was, imagine me, a young child of like 6 years old, and I asked
Leah Thompson.
Yeah, she's so great. I asked my mom to buy me a neon pink jean jacket that I wore all year long, every single day at school because I wanted to look like Beverly. Because I thought Beverly was... You want to hear a little known fact?
What?
Little known fact for fans of Tori Amos. Tori Amos actually auditioned for the role of Beverly, and I think she was like the top 3 and wasn't chosen for it because Tori was in a band before she went solo called Why Can't Tori Read, and they put out one album, and it's one of my favorite albums. It's so
Really?
good. It's so 80s. It's like hair metal kind of. It's incredible. She had a sword and was like a pirate from space.
All right.
It was pretty amazing.
That's pretty
But yeah,
cool.
she auditioned for the role of Beverly, and she was like the top 3, I think.
You know what? It really bothers me that Marvel, even though they own Lucasfilm,
Yeah.
did not use that original design for Howard
It's
the Duck
really weird.
in the
It's my
Marvel
favorite.
films. It's kind of because like the pure CGI
Yeah, it's not doing it for me.
is dumb.
No.
They should have had him be. People would have had a much better reaction.
The
I think,
costume,
to it if it was the same costume.
If you look at it today, like
it's great.
It's hilariously. It's a hilarious movie. I still love it. It's one of my it's probably my top 10 favorite movies. It's a movie I watched
a lot of
as
people
a
are
kid.
learning something about Tori Amos right now.
I know Tori Amos fucking rules. Like shit. It's a great album. And it's definitely worth listening to. If you
Howard the
love Tori.
Duck is my sleep paralysis, Steven.
Yeah, he's terrifying.
That,
But
I think isn't that technically one of the first Marvel movies was Howard the Duck, and it just like flopped.
But you know what though? The animatronic head,
Yeah.
like the face, it's
So good.
It's so expressive.
Yeah.
The eyes are so wonderful.
Dude, they had duck person boobs in that movie.
They did have duck boobs in that movie. There's duck
so
boobs
funny.
in the
So
opening
great.
of the movie. There's duck boobs.
So great. Anyway, they
I
should
love
have
the
used
duck
it. What a
rolls.
weird decision that was to not use that. They owned the design. They should
It's
have
really
done
weird, and it's such like a weirdly like beloved cult film that like it's really weird that they never even did like an homage to it or anything. Like it's so strange.
Apparently, the behind the scenes from the movie is amazing. So
Is it? I don't think I've ever watched it. It's the best.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
something.
Doobs, exactly. Miriam, Doobs.
Somebody sent me a photograph from Contact in the Desert this last week.
Oh my god, this is crazy.
I love it
this
so
wasn't
much.
In
I just
the
have to
wild
share
experience.
this. I won't share the picture because the guy's face isn't blocked out. But it was Daniel from Spectrovision was there, and he sent me a text, and he was like, "Spotted in the wild." And it was somebody in a Hellier t-shirt at Contact in the Desert.
I can't believe it. What a brave person.
I'm very brave. I wonder if
you're a museum member,
anybody harassed them.
Just know someone did take a photo of you, but it was only because it's an incredible thing to see in the wild.
Contact in the Desert is like a.
They're very
It's like the
I don't
guy,
think they're
the guy,
Hellier fans.
the guy of like UFO conferences.
Yeah, not a lot of Hellier fans. I don't.
Probably.
Think. Apparently, we're wrong.
There's at least one.
There was one person.
Yeah. It's nothing.
Was it Henry Zabrowski?
It wasn't Henry.
It wasn't Henry.
It would be funny if it was him.
We have to give Henry I feel like a Henry branded piece of clothing, which is like maybe a Speedo.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Or like maybe we get him a Hellier bib for Good Pud. I just want to be in Good Pud.
I think there's people who
I want to be in
an
an episode of
who
Good
would
Pud.
probably pay Henry a lot of money.
Definitely.
To wear something like that.
I know.
So.
I'm obsessed with Good Pud. That's all.
Contact in the Desert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt Moneymaker needs a Hellier shirt. Matt Moneymaker would probably use it for like a Molotov cocktail or something.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, I thought that was fun. Speaking of UFOs, did you guys see the BAAS leak that just came out?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There was a concerted effort to spread UAP propaganda to very popular figures in the media, particularly musicians and podcasters.
Mm-hmm.
And this all leaked from the Bigelow Company this like last week or two. It's very interesting to see that there was an actual propaganda effort to get people thinking about drones being UFOs.
Once again, I think that this is just another example of the same shit happening. It's just cyclical.
It happens.
It's the same tricks, and it's
once
cyclical.
you read enough of these books,
yeah,
and you start to know your history on ufology, you can almost predict when and how this stuff is going to happen because the methods might change a little bit, but the content remains the same. I think they're building a UFO cult. I think it's very interesting where not a particular fan of Jeremy Corbell, but I think that it is interesting that a guy who's normally pushing a specific UFO narrative is suddenly saying They're going to try and tell you that there's something on the way here. Don't believe them. It's a lie.
Definitely
Guys like
got
that-
me. My spidey sense is tingling a little
Guys
bit.
like that normally don't say things like that. They're
No.
usually telling you what to believe, not what not to.
Yep.
So I think it's very interesting.
Little sus, a little strange. It's getting real weird out there in the UFO world. It's getting real creepy.
I think things are falling apart. Did you see what happened to old Lou Elizondo recently?
No.
Showed a fake image of
yes.
a UFO mothership to like Congress or something like that,
Yeah,
and it was immediately debunked by Reddit in
Yeah.
like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
where they found out no, that's just an irrigation field.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
There's something going on, and I don't
something-
think people are being very honest about it. Anyway, beware of UFO cults. Do not join UFO cults.
As John Keel would say, beware of UFO cults.
Yes,
Cultists, I believe he called them.
yes, I would much rather be hanging out with archetypal mantis boy images.
Yeah.
You know.
Listen, here's the thing. We're just taking it slow. We're doing like we're going through the wormhole.
Listen, I won't ever tell you what to believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's up to you. That's up to you. You should decide. And anybody who tells you what to believe about anything is probably trying to sell you something. And I don't like what the UFO cultists are selling lately.
Yep.
And they just keep kicking the can down the road. It's next year, something bad's gonna happen. Well, now it's 2027 that something's gonna happen. Disclosure's gonna be 2027. I thought disclosure was last month.
Yeah.
I thought disclosure was last year. I thought it was 10 years ago.
It's the same.
Are we getting enough disclosure?
Lather, rinse, repeat. And you know what? The thing is, every time it just kind of is able to kind of bring more people in. So it's obviously a process that seems to kind of work for them, which is also very deranged and scary.
Angela, yeah, he showed a lamp too. He showed like a lamp, and that got debunked really fast too.
The problem is
There's no discernment happening,
Yes.
even by the people who claim to know the truth about what's going on.
think
They're not practicing any discernment,
a lot of those people
or they're doing it on purpose.
they're either doing it on purpose or they're great for the role because they're not going to do their due diligence and they're gonna do something like that. Which
Yeah, you know what, Alex? It's so funny. I was just telling Dana to read this.
Yes, yeah.
Messengers of Deception by Jacques Vallée, who, by the way, we should say is kind of been sucking Peter Thiel's dick lately. So there's another hero
I'm confused.
flushed down the fucking toilet. These guys just constantly do this to us.
They're liminal beings.
Maybe we shouldn't have heroes. That's why they keep saying
liminal
this.
beings.
Fuck, Peter Thiel of all people. Anyway, terrible look, Jacques. Terrible look, Jacques.
Everybody's cats and dogs.
Anyway, point is, he did write and do some really great work back in the day, and you should read Messengers of Deception if you have an opportunity to.
Yeah.
It very, I think, does such a wonderful job. I was telling Carl should read it too.
Yes.
Like everybody should read Messengers of Deception. If I had time to do book club, that's what we would be reading right now because it's prescient to the things that we're going through.
You think
it was written in the 70s.
Do you think people should look for it and
in the 80s.
and read it now? Like, is it worth it?
Oh,
Look,
100%.
Find it.
It's so valuable for the time period that we're
I'll
going
read
through,
it.
particularly if you have any interest whatsoever in UFOs or the current UFO narrative. Read Messengers of Deception. Maybe buy a used copy. Fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Makes me so mad.
Buy a used copy, exactly.
So yeah, buy a used copy. It's really it's a great book. And it talks about Heaven's Gate before they took off. And it's fascinating to see that I don't know. There's something that tweaks these people somehow. I don't know if it's like a mimetic virus. I don't know if it's like a thought. You get a bad thought and then you follow it too far. But you start to notice this happening with people, and it all is the same kind of thing. They start to do like prophecy.
Yeah.
And when they start to do prophecy, it immediately means that like the well is poisoned, I think.
Yeah, it inevitably leads to lying. That's the problem.
Sure,
And
something doesn't happen.
Backtracking and lying and trying to save face, which is I mean, the well is tainted then. Like you introduced an idea that didn't happen, and now you have to like skimmer around and try to figure out how to like backtrack, and that's a bad vibe. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
trust
yeah.
that person at that point, and maybe you should.
Well, again, it's just those. It's just again, anytime somebody's telling you what to think,
Yeah.
anytime they're telling you what to do,
Yeah.
particularly if they're like
Yeah.
just dudes who like had a vision or something,
Yeah.
it's probably not a good idea to just take that at face value and just start, thinking the way that they think.
Also, if it's creepy, how does it make you feel?
Yeah, how does it make you
probably
feel?
makes you trust your instincts if it's creepy, and let's be honest, there's a lot of it starting to feel real fucking creepy. Trust your gut about it.
Anyway,
Summer reading list, exactly. What was the name of the book again?
Messengers of Deception
By
Jacques Vallée.
And you can find it.
Apparently, it's on the Internet Archive. So
there you
don't
go.
even have to. But I'm a tactile guy. I like to have something to read. I don't even like to do tablets. I just like something to read.
You like a book.
Part of the reason I like it is because then I can give it to somebody else
Yeah.
when I've absorbed it.
Yes.
I
Maybe
can
that's a good point.
put my notes
It'd
in
be
it.
good for you to give it to somebody else.
And I think that's a good book for people who are into UFOs to be reading right now.
Yeah. I'll read it. I'll read it now.
Yeah, it's really great. I read it. I read it very recently.
Yeah.
Anyway, UFOs.
It's gonna get weirder. It's gonna get creepier and stranger.
I'm
and
so
more
drowning in
off-putting.
disclosure over here while these guys like talk about big UFOs buried in places, and it's like, go dig it up then.
Yeah.
What are you doing? If you know that this stuff
There's
is
a lot
there,
of yapping. A lot of yapping
people,
going on.
a lot of people
a lot
yapping.
Of experts yapping, and nothing much really going on.
Buy my book.
A lot of yappers out there.
Buy my book.
It's always been that case though.
Mirage Men.
Mirage Men.
Mirage Men is great. We read Mirage Men in book club a couple years ago.
Also a good book to read right now.
Also a very good book to read
help
right
you
now.
kind of sharpen your discernment when it comes to the subject matter. If that's something that you want a little bit more of a well-balanced kind of perspective on, Mirage Men is a great option to kind of help get your discernment going a little bit.
Yeah, they're not really having a good time. The Disclosure Camp's not having a good time right now.
Yeah.
I'm watching them.
I'm
I
sure
see
it's
the
lots of
conversations.
discourse.
A lot of them are like finally starting to realize, like, wait, this is the third time they've showed a fake picture at a like a Congress event, or like, all this stuff is happening in skiffs. Oh, I can't tell you, it's privileged information. Okay, we know what that means.
Yeah.
You're lying to us.
Yeah.
You haven't figured it out yet.
I mean, hopefully that can be the way that that information of like, oh, we can't tell you, just assume that it's because it's not real.
Oh my goodness.
Stop yapping, start digging.
Start digging. Yeah.
Yeah, get out there.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, I see Marina saying ufology has been infiltrated with racist Nazis and misogynistic views. Here's the thing: it hasn't been infiltrated; it's always been there.
It's been there.
You go back and you start reading it.
Unfortunately,
that's one of the things. I've been reading a lot of like tangential stuff for season 3 of Hellier. I mean, my book stack is out of control right now, and so I've read a lot about the origins of ufology, where this stuff comes from. You literally can't separate it because so much of that stuff is crossed over with Operation Paperclip, where we brought all their Nazis over. These guys didn't change their views on things.
Yeah.
They just worked for the U.S. government. So these people have been there the whole time, been spreading these fucking crazy ideas about like, tall blonde Venusians that are somehow Christians in space. Anyway,
with
this stuff
with duck boobs.
That's the worst conclusion that you come to when you've been researching this stuff long enough, is inevitably it comes to this thing where it was like, no, people didn't come in and ruin this. The actual foundational material of all of this stuff is inherently racist. A ton of it has to do with like neo-Nazism. A lot of it has to do with misogyny. A lot of it has to do with like religious bigotry. These stories are fun and a lot of them are cute. And then you start to realize where they came from. And it's like, oh, wow. Like we talked about in the Ancient Aliens podcast, this funny idea of ancient astronauts coming down here was all dictated through a guy who edited the American Nazi, or not the German Nazi Party newspaper. We shouldn't be listening to any of this.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important for us to take the good stuff that people have found and build on that and leave the foundations of that stuff behind, because I don't think there's any fixing the rot in it. And it inevitably gets to this point where people start to get really weird and open with some of those nasty views
Yeah.
when they end up going mainstream, which look around.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Once it's mainstream and it's like on the news all the time, these people start spewing the same stuff. You get the Rh negative blood type stuff, which is inherently eugenics based. That's all Nazi shit. That all came from Nazis. It just sucks, man. You don't think about this stuff when you're, 8 years old listening to Art Bell in the middle of the night. You just think these stories are fun and you don't know where they come from, which is why it's so important that we start telling new stories and we go out and we have new adventures with these new, better ideas. And we spread those stories, because otherwise you're accidentally like getting involved in some not so great stuff. And it's not just UFOs. It's the occult in particular is another one that's really bad for that stuff. Even ghost hunting and the paranormal. I've met so many Fordians who have like the worst views, like the worst social views you can imagine. There's just something about the material. I don't know if it's the fact that it's like it's fringe already, that kind of draws more fringe ideas. Maybe that's part of it too. There's no rules. I don't know. You just have to be very careful, and that's why we harp on so much about discernment. You need discernment, man. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's here's the thing, Madison. I always talk about John Keel being a creep. John Keel was not a Nazi though. He was just a misogynist, and that's bad. But John Keel describing a woman's figure in his book is not going to lead someone to neo-Nazi opinions about space. You know what I mean? Not to say that, it's not bad to do that. It's just, it makes him a fucking creep.
It's very on brand for a guy who was writing a middle-aged man writing books in the 60s. It's unfortunately very on brand for him to make, observations like that.
How about this? This John says, why can't these fun ideas gain their own momentum and just live beyond their creators? Like, we don't really associate Dracula or subsequent stories with Stoker's more racist views. Here's a great example of that. H.P. Lovecraft, the guy who like helped basically invent an entire new version of like cosmic horror, he was terribly racist. I think I read this in a Peter Levenda book, who's a great resource if you're looking for some of the more nefarious ideas behind the occult and ufology and things like that. Sinister Forces is one of the scariest books I've ever read. It's a book series. Anyway, I think he said that it was H.P. Lovecraft's racism that really dictated his fear of extraterrestrials from somewhere else. The way he described the rituals and things like that. It was his xenophobia that did that, and it's clear that you can read that in his stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's a question of how well people can separate the art from the artist, and a lot of that depends on how far away we are from the artist. It's like we could talk about the fact that I think one of the most despicable things that's happened to pop culture is what's her fucking name? Harry Potter lady. J.K. Rowling, the way that she has completely ruined something for people that meant a lot to. Do you know what I mean? Do you know how many queer kids grew up reading Harry Potter? How many trans kids grew up reading Harry Potter? And Harry Potter gave them, a way to look at the world where they could be brave and they could fight against tyranny. And then the person who wrote it comes out with like absolutely abhorrent views that she can't keep her fucking mouth shut about. She's committed, I think, one of the worst possible sins that you can commit, which is to ruin the art that meant a lot, something that came out of you, a holy thing. Art is sacred. It's holy. It comes from a space beyond you. You help craft it. You help shape it. But what she did to such a beautiful thing that inspired so many people was one of the worst sins I think that you can commit. And so I think for some people, there's some things that they can overlook. You know, Michael Jackson knew how to make a fucking pop. You know, I can hear Billie Jean and not think about what a weird creep Michael Jackson probably was. But I can't look at Harry Potter without thinking about Joanne fucking spitting some like actual
Fucking
real
Joanne.
hatred. It's bad, man. It's bad. And so I don't know. I think that it's an individual thing. You have to decide. It's easier when it's people that are dead, you know, like it's easy for me to still enjoy reading John Keel books, even when I know that like he made some kind of weird racist descriptions of things, and he was a misogynist. It's easy to look past that because at the end of the day, these people were just dumb guys without real jobs who were obsessed with fringe ideas. So of course they were going to be fringy people, but there is a line where it's like, you know, it's the same thing we were talking about with teachers earlier. You have to be careful sometimes. And I think that when you look at something like, you know, footprints of the gods or fingerprints of the gods or whatever, fucking ancient alien stuff, you start to notice like, oh, I can see the agenda of the actual literal Nazi who wrote these.
The difference is that,
or edited them at least,
that it's in the foundational material. Like it's the very bedrock of what they're saying. It's just couched as something different. It's like it's racism that's couched in a different veneer. And you, for some people, without the knowledge of that, they wouldn't know it because they would just take it at face value. But then,
well, and then that's the other thing too, is again, this is why discernment and nuance is a helpful thing to have,
so
which is
valuable.
It's very difficult in today's world to be very nuanced about things, because no matter where you look, everything is there's a good argument for everything to be very black and white, and some things is very easy to be that way. But when you look at something like, I don't know, you look at like, you know, J.K. Rowling, for example, sure, you could boycott the books, you can get rid of those things, but she is so goddamn rich. Like, she's one of the richest people in the fucking world. She'll never have to care. And that's what makes her so evil, because she's saying this stuff without any consequence whatsoever. And that's what makes it so evil. That's what makes it so bad.
Yeah, it's like very obvious that what you're watching is somebody completely unable to take responsibility for their actions, so they're just projecting out on everybody else. All the time.
I mean, you guys, listen, you guys are all picking up what I'm saying is, you know, it's easy when these people are dead. The issue is, again, some of this material has the author's intentions and ideas baked into the material in a way that it goes into your brain.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I think burning books is a terrible thing. I think that, like, you know, getting rid of any kind of material is a bad thing. It's better if we train ourselves to be so staunch in our moral compass and our beliefs that you can have contact with that material. If you're in the paranormal, you have to do this.
You really
have to develop a sense of discernment, or you'll be thrown off the path.
I think
and take it from people who have been down some of those roads accidentally.
Yeah. The more also it will get worse. And I think it's just like, at the end of the day, I think it's just a valuable tool for anyone to develop, especially if you're someone who is, you know, magically minded and sensitive. It would be very beneficial, I think, at the end of the day, because then you don't have to rely on someone else to tell you. You know it.
Yeah, you'll know immediately if you're reading something.
You've picked up the vibe.
Here's a great example of this too. Is like, I don't know. Should we stop driving Volkswagens? Should we not visit the Henry Ford Museum? Should we burn all that stuff? Should we get rid of all that stuff? Should we, you know, never go to space? A lot of bad people were part of the space program. There's a lot of terrible, terrible people who have influenced more things in this world than you think. And it is only down to the people who are able to go, well, this is bad stuff. We need to make sure people know about this bad stuff and get rid of it so that we can continue using things that have influenced humanity in a positive way. Art is the same way. Can you can you watch The Cosby Show? I don't think you need to. I don't really think there's a reason to. It's not really doing anything. It's not really improving anything. And you know, when you read it, the messages of it were false. The guy was literally committing unbelievable crimes. Can you listen to Michael Jackson at a wedding? Can you dance at a wedding? Probably. Not everybody can, but you're going to have to figure out your own limits for that stuff. And that's why discernment is so important, because you shouldn't be scared of coming into contact with material.
You should have the tools to be able to push it away.
You should have
the tools to be able
to separate it.
To not, to deny it.
Yeah.
To deny it.
Yeah.
It's more powerful.
Yes.
To be able to deny it is powerful.
Yeah. Anyway, a lot of great ideas in the comments. A lot of you guys, have different opinions about things, but I think that's what makes this group pretty great, is that you do come to your own conclusions, and we're not coming to those conclusions for you. We're just saying, hey, here's some things we've experienced. Take of this what you will. And I think that that's what I would hope more people in the paranormal are doing. I'm kind of not in touch with most of that anymore. I don't know what the prevailing ideas are. Annabelle's still out there, so clearly it's going very well.
Terrorizing New Orleans.
It's going really well.
Running amok.
Yeah. But it sucks, man.
Chaos.
Like, I think about again, I was just talking about Jacques Vallée glazing Peter Thiel. Oh, God, what a bad taste that puts in my mouth.
How could it not?
Of course. But I can understand at a time, there was a point in his life where he wasn't doing that, at least not publicly. And he was writing some books that I can confidently recommend to you, because I know that you guys will find the value in those books. It's the same way that I can recommend things by John Keel, because I know that if you're in this group, you obviously have some kind of discernment, and you can look past some of the shit that was like not very cool that he wrote. But it's that way with everything, man. You read the Bible, there's shit in there that's not fucking cool. It's in everything. You need to determine what's right for you and have a really good, strong compass about what you believe is right and what you believe is wrong. And if you do that and you develop it yourself, I think you'll find that discernment will serve you very well, not just in reading in old books about the paranormal, but in life in general. So anyway, that's my rant about that.
Spicy rant.
The Peter Thiel thing just made me real mad.
I mean, it's
not great, man.
No.
Oh, here you go. Evan talking about Mysterious Universe. I've talked about that a few times. What a bummer. I loved those guys. They were very funny. I thought that they had a really great outlook that felt similar to ours about the paranormal, where they could
There's a reason we haven't been on it in 7 years.
No, I literally, when they started saying like weird anti-trans stuff and getting kind of like anti-feminist stuff, and any of this like weird, overtly kind of hateful,
very incel
rhetoric, I couldn't believe it at first. I thought it was so crazy when it was happening. This was when I was still on Twitter, and I reached out to them myself personally, because that's what you should do, right? You should not listen to a rumor. If there's somebody that you know that you respect.
Yeah, because I think it was kind of still very rumory.
It was very rumory.
It was very, very it was a long time. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it was around COVID, but COVID broke tons of people's brains.
Yeah.
You guys know. You guys
everyone experienced
went through it too. It was around that time, and so I reached out to them personally, and they basically were like, yeah, this is how we feel about this, and guess what? They're going to come after you at some point too. And I was like, I really don't believe that. I can't believe that you're saying this. It breaks my heart. And that was the last I ever talked to him. Yeah, and I'm not really a person who doesn't believe in second chances for people. I mean, obviously, like people make mistakes, and I think that people, the sign of a healthy society is forgiving people when they understand that they've made mistakes, and I think we could probably be better about that. But I don't foresee that happening.
Not
with that situation.
Unfortunately, I don't think so. I think they've doubled down.
Yeah, and I've seen it happen to a lot of people that I used to really respect. You know, one of the a book that I used to recommend all the time, and I still recommend it. It's the same kind of thing. Was a book called The Chaos Protocols by Gordon White. Really liked Gordon White. We did a show a bunch of times. He said some very profound things. I think that the book that he wrote about chaos magic is a really wonderful primer on just a magical way of thinking.
It's an intelligent primer.
But I think
sure.
COVID cracked his brain too, and he started saying some weird stuff, and that was it. And then, of course, there's that friendship gone. But I'm preaching to the choir. I know that you guys have gone through a lot of that stuff too. I think we all did. We've seen a lot of it in our families over the last fucking what? How long is it now? 5-6 years? I don't know, man. It's sad. It's just a real fucking bummer. Yeah, there's the Rune Soup guy. Yeah. I enjoy small doses of George Knapp as a living X-Files character, in spite of the assholes he hangs with now. Funny story. We get phone calls in the middle of the night all the time to come. I
literally got one yesterday. I got a text
middle of the
yesterday.
night to do Coast to Coast, a show that I grew up listening to, and loved and really formed the way that I am today. Won't do it. They platform too many people that I don't ever want to share a stage with. I don't ever want to share an episode with. We've been asked to do the talk show that George Knapp does, but it's on Gaia. Yeah. I've refused to do it. I won't appear on it. That's my line, you know. And there's a part of me that almost is like, could we use those as outreach? You know, is there a way to do that as like an outreach and to like maybe reach some of these people with a message of curiosity over fear? Could we do that? I just feel like it'd do more damage than it would, actually reach anybody, you know? And I don't know if those are audiences that I really want to be exposed to. It's sad. In the state of the paranormal, the ufological is not great, man. But has it ever really been? No. I think it's just overt now. Yeah. It's easier to draw a line in the sand these days, you know?
I don't think I could compromise. I think that it would be it's a line too far for me personally. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a bummer. It's a bummer for sure. But like I said, man, it's just it is what it is. Anyway,
what's your segue? I'm waiting for
I don't know what my segue was. Oh, speaking of guys I used to think are cool.
Oh, this is.
Do you want to see something cool? I saved this just because I thought that you guys would dig this. So while I'm not a proponent of Whitley Strieber's
totally unnecessary hot take on Twitter about like gender and shit. Gender. Like we really need that from you. Okay?
He's an old man. I'm trying to have a little bit of grace for old people because they have trouble learning new things. Anyway, I'm not like a huge proponent of his particular ideas behind the phenomenon, but we all have to admit, Communion. Scary fucking book, man.
It's an icon.
Scary story. He writes a hell of a story about gray aliens. Further down the line, though, he started getting a little bit weirder. One of his books was this book, The Secret School, Preparation for Contact, right? I haven't read it. I've glimpsed through it. It's not, it starts to get kind of, he starts giving prophecy.
The cover, though.
There you go.
The cover, though. Well, first of all, can we see it?
How recent was that? That was when Twitter was still named Twitter. So it was like, fairly recent. Anyway, you could probably find it if you wanted to. I'm sure there's a bunch of blogs about it. Okay. This just entered the collection. This is the original cover painting of Secret School.
How cool. Hold on, let me put my head back here.
Isn't this fucking sick? This is the original cover art for Secret School by Whitley Strieber. you know, I wish that it was the one for Communion, but I think that this is a different
Where is
artist.
that one? Do you
I'm
know?
sure it's in somebody's private collection.
Probably.
Somebody, I mean, it's probably in a museum somewhere, hopefully. But anyway,
Well,
can't
this one
fucking
now,
believe we tracked
this one
that one
is-
down. Beautiful, beautiful.
I-
We'll do a
it's-
whole write up on it at some point.
It's
but
legitimately a really cool painting.
I was very, very excited.
It's
about
very, very cool.
wanted to show that one off to you.
Mm-hmm.
It is neat. Who was the guy? Was it his name? Ted Owens? Was it Ted Owens who did the art? I can't remember what his name was. The fun thing about this one though with Secret School is I don't think this person painted anything like this ever.
So this was like the first
I think they
weird
did mostly
alien
like
that they painted.
mostly like nice like romantic book covers and stuff like that. So this was
I
a
love
weird
it.
one.
I love that the cover is like with the moon.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's Mars actually.
Oh, is it
I think that's
Mars?
supposed
Oh,
to be
they're
Mars.
Martians, of course.
Yes.
Of
Apparently
course
they
he's
talked
obsessed
about
with
us on Side
Martians.
Stories again.
Oh yay!
Oh, they have a haunted Ouija board seance incoming. Well, they did invite us.
That's because
We wish them the best of luck.
Annabelle is gonna take the wheel on that one. Annabelle's like, I got this.
Shit. Well, before we get into recommendations.
Oh, we gotta do recommends.
Before we do that, is there any other stuff you guys want to talk about? Is there any questions you have about anything? I know that I went on a little rant about the state of the paranormal, but I think about it sometimes, and it just sucks to have your relationship changed. You know, the relationship you have with something that you love changed by learning more about that thing. And I think that that's a journey that a lot of people go on when they have a genuine interest in something, and then they start to, the more you read about it, the more you like understand, well, where some of these ideas came from. It's never a fun thing when you start to find out like, oh, this guy whose book I really enjoyed is like buddying up to people who are destroying democracy. Oh, this magician that I really enjoyed is saying horrible things about people's private decisions online. Or I don't know, Harry Potter. God, I think about it, it makes me sad every time I think about it, because I really enjoyed the movies. I never read the books, but I really enjoyed the movies. They have such a great message, just such a cool thing for kids to grow up with, only to have to like now go, do I keep my feelings about this thing? Can I? Can I separate the art from the artist? Eternal struggle.
That's why you should just read Lord of the Rings.
That's why maybe you should just read Lord of the Rings.
although, wait a minute. There's some there. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? What do we got here? Let's see. What do we got? Let's see. Wait, who defended fucking David Icke's lizard people shit?
Can't scroll it. So,
oh man, I hope not. Paul, slightly related, but I remember you talking about the Antonio Villas-Boas case on another podcast and how it was 100% human orchestrated, and wondering if there's any plans to cover it in the future. I feel like we talked about it on the Betty and Barney Hill episode of the podcast. You should check that out if you haven't heard that yet. It's like the first or second episode. Second episode, maybe.
Yeah, that's like the second episode.
Betty Hill's dress pieces
in the first 3 episodes. For sure.
I think we go into a little more conversation about that. Due to like newly released CIA materials about some of the shit they were doing down there.
There's some good stuff in it too, if I remember correctly.
Really
Connor really did dig up some cool, interesting information, and it was like it's very succinct. If you want to know more about it, for sure. I love that whole episode. That whole episode is one of my favorite.
It's a great episode. Yes, I've had so many people send me the David Lynch estate auction.
I know.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's too much there that I could use as like a business.
You know what?
Right off.
I love that it's like at least 25% coffee makers.
It is. I know. It's
Classic
great.
Lynch, 25% coffee makers.
I also have a feeling that stuff's going to go for like insane amounts
Thousands
of money. So
and
I
thousands
think
and
we're out
thousands
of our
dollars.
element on that one.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be cool to have like, I know I saw one of the things. Of course I looked at the auction.
Yeah.
One of the
Oh,
things.
his like prayer.
Some of his prayer stuff for transcendental
Yeah.
meditation, which I was like, that's cool. But I'm sure that stuff's going to go for way more money than I've
sure it
got to
will.
give.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's very cool.
but
was
it is
to
cool.
see.
what
David
else
Lynch's
we
good
got here?
vibes.
Oh yeah, we want to get into celebrity gossip. We're gonna talk about Zach
Ooh.
Bagans' relationships.
I mean,
I don't really want to.
Yeah.
What else we got? Any book recommendations for people just starting to get into magic and stuff? My main interests are egregores. I don't know. Do you have anything? Egregores aren't really. That's more of a
you thing.
It's more of a me thing.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't know. I can look and see. I don't know if I have anything specific to egregores that I'd be comfortable being like, yeah, read
Maybe
this.
think about it.
Yeah.
And come up with something.
Let me think about it.
We'll bring it up again at the next Fireside chat, and maybe
Yeah.
you'll have an answer for them.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just getting into magic, I'll tell you what I talk about in the tour. Read Real Magic by Dean Radin.
That's a great recommendation.
It'll give you a good idea of some of the actual like scientific stuff that people have done to kind of hopefully confirm that there are other senses and that, you know, the idea of intention can be used to do things. It's a really fantastic book. I can recommend that one and feel very clear in my conscience about that one. What else we got? I blame Pluto switching to Aquarius for all of these hero pedestals being destroyed.
I know and you know what's? I think it's in opposition with Leo right now too. So all my Leos out there, if there are any Leos out there, you're feeling run down, you're feeling kind of pooped out. Keep your lovely Leo hearts as warm as you can, because it's pretty spicy out there for Leos right now. The Leos are fighting for their lives.
Emmy says read Animorphs instead.
Animorphs. Listen,
you can read
yeah,
Animorphs.
that's how you learn how to become. You learn alchemy that way.
Without giving too much away, how are y'all doing on the freak out paranoia scale now that you're back in Hellier mode? Much better, I think, than we've ever done.
Arguably, we have learned to cope in very
like 5 or
healthy
6
ways.
years.
Much better than we have, some of us. But
we never really, you know, we never had any media training. You know, there's certain things. Hellier became a kind of its own weird monster that we didn't really anticipate it to be, because, you know, it wasn't like we didn't think that it was going to have the impact that it did.
I think
it resonated with a lot of people that, and I understand why. You know, season 2 has a whole story thread in there that like ends up having an unfortunate, you know, the whole story anyway. Kids in caves, right? Like that type of thing, which to us is just like, well, that goes with the folklore of like the descent narratives that you hear, you know, like the stories of the underground goblins, yada yada. Well, then of course Hellier comes out and then QAnon pops off, and so there was a very specific kind of like wavelength that we hit with season 2 that I don't think we could have predicted. We weren't in those spaces, and it made some of the post season 2 paranoia real bad, because it attracted a kind of vibe that for a while kind of took a little while to like shake that off. We have a much better idea of what we're getting ourselves into this time. We're much better researchers than we've ever been.
Yeah. I think what I was going to say is, I think it's important to remember that like one of the things that maybe most people don't know is that Hellier looks great, and it is visually beautiful, and it is really great. But yeah, like in terms of the the media training that the average person will get if they make a project like a bigger project. None of us have had any of that. So like you're
No.
really just seeing real people trying to figure out how to do that in the world. And
Yes.
it's a weird thing. It's weird figuring out how to function in that kind of way afterwards.
Yeah. So it took a while to like understand how that stuff happens, where
Yeah.
that stuff comes from.
Yeah.
We got a lot better at researching things that we just kind of took for granted beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lot. I am having a much better time in season 3, and it took a while. It's part of the reason why it took so long is because yes, this is always happening. We're always like being pulled aside at some stuff to shoot something because something happened or whatever, but it's been hard to kind of get into the headspace until recently where it was like, no, I feel really good about this. I feel really good about what we're doing, what we're looking into, the people that we're talking to, the things that we're doing,
The clarifications that we're making.
clarifications that we're making.
There's a lot of clarifications,
Yeah.
a lot of yeah.
Yeah. So it's not nearly, we're not nearly as paranoid. I think now it's more just like, I'm just kind of in awe of the things that are happening
Mm-hmm.
and starting to figure out maybe why they're happening and getting a better idea of where this is all going. And understanding the effect that it's had, and maybe part of Hellier was going through some of that stuff.
Yeah, it's initiatory.
Because it was initiatory.
Yeah, it should be evidence. Hopefully, it is evidence, and hopefully, whether people pick up on it consciously or unconsciously, it is all an authentic group of people's experience without it being produced in any way. So, like we always talk about, we leave our dead ends in also because that's part of the process. So it's like it's initiatory in nature because it takes time.
Yeah.
It has to be impactful.
Sure.
And it has to work on you over time.
Yeah.
Because that's how we take on those changes. And so yeah, it's I think you can see a lot of that in the progress of just where we're at with it.
I'm
very excited about that aspect of it.
And it's funny because now we can like look at things that are very obvious.
We have a little bit more discernment.
Well, yes, we do. We've really developed our discernment.
And we can use the discernment in the moment and in real life, and being able to use. I think it's why we become so obsessed with harping on about it. It's not just like we're talking about it because it sounds like it's a good idea. It's really because we're really putting it into play. We're utilizing discernment quite a bit, and it is actually proving, at least to us, that is a valuable thing to work at.
They were saying that the finders were satanic. Oh, that's what I mean, man. Anyway, we can look at things and go, "Oh, that's a trap." Like
Yes.
it almost feels silly at this point.
You can totally avoid
where
it. Then.
Where like we understand how to avoid certain traps, and I'm not saying that like we don't always miss them.
Yes, everyone.
There's always something new.
There's
to
a
learn.
lot of traps to get stuck in. There's a lot of them out there.
Yes, we are, trying to use as much discernment as we can, and I think that it's we're not as distracted.
Yes, and exactly
by sometimes the flashy people that come along that have like a flashy story, or something that maybe isn't maybe tangentially related. I think we're much better at using that discernment we've developed to go, no, this is the path that we should be following. And when we listen to ourselves, it's very much seems like we're rewarded for doing that. And, there's a lot of stuff like I saw somebody was like, Terry seems like he'd be a Q guy. Well, there have been some mischaracterizations, I think, that we get to talk about in season 3. There's more information that we found that nobody knows about a lot of the players in Hellier. There's new people you're going to meet that you probably have never heard of before. There's There's
some
we're-
recontextualizing, which is really cool.
some season 1
Very, very
recontextualizing
interesting.
that is fucking insane.
Yeah.
To the point where now it's like, oh fuck, it's all of those things. I'm so glad that a lot of the dead ends and stuff were left in.
Yes.
Because they're not really dead ends.
Yeah.
They just
the
need to
work.
be recontextualized.
Yes, it's just the work. It's like, again, it's one of those things that in the moment, it's why, trying to think of it maybe not necessarily from the perspective of something that's necessarily linear. It's that sometimes something seems like it doesn't make sense, but it has a vibe, and it's important somehow, but you don't know why. And eventually you get your answer. So it's sort of like utilizing that discernment allowed us to kind of come full circle on certain things, which I think is it's a very cool thing to experience.
Yes.
It's kind of scary, honestly. It's a little bit like, whoa.
I mean, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm still spooked a lot.
Spooky and awe can be very close together.
They're very closely related.
They can be kind of twins.
And
really.
I think there's I mean, one of the scarier things about Hellier, the more that we do it, and the more things that we find, and the more we recontextualize things, is, the scariest thing is the implications sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they, sometimes I'm like, I've even had this conversation with Dana where I'm like, should we even be showing some of this?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want people to use this stuff in a bad way. I don't know, but
that's what part of the discernment process is. That's why we just keep doing it.
Yeah. So anyway, it's going very well. We're having a very good time. I'm very, very, very excited about what we've already got and what we're potentially going to get. There's still a lot to do, but I think everyone's going to be really, I really do think this is the best thing we've ever done, probably by leaps and bounds. And I think it's going to really, I think it's going to make people, it's going to give a lot of people some new ideas and some new thoughts about the phenomena and how it works and how to engage with it, and about following, somebody said earlier, still synchronicities. Fucking unbelievable. To the point where it's like, shouldn't be real. This should not exist. Some of the things that are happening, and you'll get to see them. You'll get to see them. Carl's been hard at work.
He has.
And we're very, very, very excited. Yeah, I think we're starting to get the hang of it. It's
funny though, because you start to get the hang of it, and then it totally changes. It's always, I think it's just,
one of the weird thing too that we keep saying,
don't invite that dogma in there.
Yeah, that's it. It's a dogma.
Just let it go. It's a current, and the current is palpable.
It is.
It's a feeling.
Their noses have gotten pretty good, I think, at sniffing it out. And it's not even maybe sniffing it out so much as like just being like open and listening to like where the synchronicities are trying to get you to go.
Yeah.
And when you just like get really good at it and you start following it, and you know what to ask, and you know how, it really is absolutely stunning.
It's like magic is real or something.
It's like magic is real.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
I'm very excited for you guys.
It's such a, like, also, Carl is kind of firing on all cylinders in terms of like what he's filming with and how it's being filmed. So we have the opportunity to sort of take some more creative chances and make continuously make the thing that we've always dreamt of making, which is a very cool experience. And it's I'm so excited to give it to you guys.
That's it, man.
I
think if we've done nothing, it's funny because I can't remember who I was talking to about this the other day. I said, if the only thing that Hellier accomplishes is to get people to pick up their trash and read some books.
Oh, that's the best thing that ever.
Hell yeah, that's great. And that's pretty much the bare minimum. But I've seen the way people respond to it, and I think that we all feel like we have a responsibility to care for this thing that we're doing. and we all really do treat it that way. And we've all been honing our skills since season 2 came out. You know, we learned a lot of stuff from doing the unbinding. You know, we've been in so many fucking meetings with like TV people since season 2 came out that all end the same way, which is us just realizing like, why we're just gonna do this ourselves. Nobody has good ideas. I mean, they just there's a reason that people are in boardrooms.
We're very lucky because what we do, there isn't a process that is so fundamental to the making of things in the entertainment industry that like that process and way in which they do things intentionally slows everything down to a grinding halt, and it throws constant distractions, pointless distractions, people who like invent their jobs to just like literally grind the process down to a like absolute deadpan, like nothing. There's really no movement quite often.
Yeah.
And we're very, very lucky that we are literally five people. You know what I mean? Like that, at the very least, from the production standpoint, from the actionable production standpoint, that's a very small group of people that are doing these things, and it allows us to move quickly and to make things quickly. But that's like not the case most of the time.
I love Sharon. She says it best. You can't have an initiatory experience at a boardroom.
Exactly. That's really.
I mean, maybe you could.
I'm sure.
I've had an initiation into not believing a single thing that comes out of a production company's mouth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That like, is an initiation. You have to go through that experience.
Sure, I did learn something there.
You get smoke blown up your butt.
But again, that's discernment too. Yes. Like when I you know, this doesn't happen anymore. But when we would have these types of meetings and people would like talk about Hellier or whatever, it's very easy for us now to discern whether that is a meeting worth having, and they never are anymore. They never are anymore. The ideas are so reductive. And the other thing too is like one of my favorite parts about Hellier is we don't have to treat the audience like children.
Yes.
You know, we don't have to, and that's part of the issue. And part of what I love about Hellier is that we can present something. We can all like disagree on it or not even have to come to a conclusion about it. You can't do that in television.
Yeah.
They really, you know,
there's no room in television for like nuanced conversations about things, especially Hellier related things. And there just would never be like any scenario where a version of Hellier would make it onto national television that hasn't been like completely, you know, changed by producers, because their job is to produce television. Their job isn't to document.
Well, it's also to make a final. It's to make a product.
Yeah,
you know, it's to make something.
They're producing television.
It's to make something that will appeal to the widest amount of people possible. Yeah. Hellier is not that.
No.
You know, we're all self-aware enough to know that like you can see this yourselves by looking at the view count on episodes.
Oh yeah,
and you can the first episode's like 1 million views or something, and you get down to like the last episode of season 2, and it's far less than that.
Yeah, it's like 25% of people hanging on, basically.
And here's the thing. I don't think that's bad.
No, that's incredible.
I think that's a good thing.
That's incredible.
Because it's literally weeding out people who don't get it. And so all that's left by the end are people who like set aside their preconceived notions. I just had a conversation with somebody who is going to be in Hellier, who I think everyone will be very stoked to see, who said some very, very nice things about Hellier completely surprising them, because when people were telling them like, you have to see this, he kind of was like, oh, a fucking paranormal TV show.
Yes.
And then once he got a couple episodes in and started to realize what it actually is and what it's turning into, he was like, incredible. And having people like that say things like that is worth more to me.
Want to lend their voice to this larger project, like that's a great, incredible thing.
Yeah. I wish it was Jeff Goldblum, but I don't think Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum is way too busy being Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, you guys want better help commercials in Hellier? You want like, anyway. No, it's not. It's not Jeff Goldblum.
It's not Jeff Goldblum.
It's not Tom DeLonge.
It's not Tom DeLonge.
Although Tom DeLonge is a big fan of
He
Hellier.
is.
And I'm very excited for him to see the 3rd season.
I feel like Tom DeLonge's gonna love the 3rd season.
I think Tom will fucking
Tom's gonna love it.
blow a gasket.
Tom is definitely gonna blow a gasket. 100%. It's a very weird thing too, because like I was in my early 20s in the early 2000s, and so like Tom DeLonge is a very strange figurehead of like I think most millennials. So it's very strange.
Yeah,
like,
it's real weird.
Oh yeah, Tom DeLonge likes Hellier. That's really weird.
It's yeah, man, it's weird. It's real weird. But the fun thing about Hellier is that, you know, by it being as you know, I'd hesitate to call it a cult classic. You know, I don't know, but for it being as unique as it is in the space, it really does help keep you humble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you like,
how can you have an ego about that?
We joked about it before. The funniest part about Hellier
Greg, the UFO bros would never let us have egos about it. What do you
that's
mean?
true. That's true.
What, you can't have an ego about it when 30 dudes on Twitter are calling you an idiot. That's not possible.
Oh, an idiot! They're using much stronger language.
I
than
said
that.
idiot to save everybody's ears, but
Elijah Wood does like Hellier.
He does.
I do. He's told us himself.
You guys, I literally had to dissociate the whole time. I had to pretend.
Technically, he said, "I fucking love Hellier."
He did, and you guys, I gave Frodo. First of all, I had second breakfast with Frodo, and then I gave Frodo a thing of Kleenexes, and we had a moment about it, and it was great. And I realized that he's not Frodo, and he's a human man named Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
But he was also Frodo Baggins.
You met Frodo because of Hellier. So that's the thing, you know, when
you meet the person, like, here's the thing. This is the strangest experience on the planet. When you meet the person that successfully embodied your favorite fictional character of all time, it is one of the most nauseating, anxiety-inducing experience, because the only thing you're thinking is, please don't be a fucking asshole. Please don't ruin this for me. Please don't ruin this for me. And much like Jeff Goldblum, arguably one of the nicest people I've ever met. Like, genuinely,
so
he was so nice. You know what?
Very aware of how other people see them in a way that I think keeps them relatable.
Do you know what I'm always doing whenever I'm around celebrities? Which is that sounds very weird, but I am doing this anytime. I'm always going, how are you treating other people? And this meeting happened in a restaurant, and I was like, don't be mean to the servers. Don't be mean.
They treat the servers.
And he was very nice to the servers.
Nice.
And I was like, Elijah Wood is a good person, and it made me feel very good. And I was like, Frodo's okay. Frodo's okay.
Yeah.
He's in the Grey Havens. He's probably not okay. He's got a lot of PTSD.
I mean, listen, here's the other thing too. Yeah, of course, we want to make money on Hellier. Like, it's a job. It is, you know, everybody works very, very hard on it.
Yes.
And so the more successful it is, the more happy we are, the more chance we get to make more things like that.
That's the thing. Like,
you know, everybody needs a roof over their head. And
we can make it better. That's the goal.
Absolutely.
We can make it better without having to rely on financing from like people who will have so many bad ideas and try to shoehorn them into the thing as much as possible. It just allows us to continue to make things better without having to deal with people who, one, don't even believe in the paranormal to begin with, and secondly,
which is like everybody who works on TV shows
are just full of ideas that have been like brainwashed into their brains by network executives, and they're never good ideas. They're never good ideas.
No.
I don't trust that a guy who doesn't even watch TV could come up with good ideas for TV. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It makes me nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can make things better, and that's the best part. Samwise is the core
man.
hero. Of course he's the core hero, Jen.
Yeah.
Sam's the heart.
He is.
But Frodo's
the one who had to go to the Grey Havens, man.
Frodo had to do the hard shit.
Made the sacrifice.
He did. He gave his pound of flesh.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Sweet, sweet little Frodo.
Anyway, win the Emmy. I don't think Hellier's going to be submitted for the Emmys.
Do they have a Goblin category?
Do they? Maybe.
Best in Goblin television is... We wouldn't even win.
Here's the thing. we're making the thing we all really want to make and love making,
Yes.
and we're deeply invested in it, and it means a lot to us, which is why it takes as long as it does,
Yes.
which is why we're as cagey as we are about it.
About information. We have to
Uh-huh.
keep everything.
And
You
it's
know-
why we're like so protective of it, because I do really feel it is alive in its own way, and we
have
are
a-
tasked with caring for
Yes.
it.
We have a reverence for the thing, and I think if the reverence wasn't there, it wouldn't be the thing.
Yes.
The reverence is a necessary thing. It's never Hellier, and it's really, I think it goes for pretty much everything that we do with the museum. Just in the subject matter itself, it always is approached from a place of reverence.
Justin asked
you know?
if Tim Renner has done any art for Hellier. Tim Renner did the soundtrack to basically the last episode.
Yeah,
of
the
season
whole
2.
last episode. But that would be great. Tim Renner's art rules.
Wildnisgeist.
I love
Yeah.
Tim Renner's art.
Yeah.
It's so good.
We're gonna. I mean, we haven't quite
That would be
hit
so
that
cool if we.
part yet, but maybe we could do something cool. I
Maybe we
love
could
the
make
idea of
some
like
art for
Mondo
it.
style posters for.
I
some
love. I
stuff.
think Tim Renner's stuff is so good.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Anyway,
I'm gonna call him the Renster.
the Renster.
I'm a fan of the Renster.
Anyway, I know I realize that we spent a little while talking about that, but we're in the Hellier headspace. We're very passionate about
We're
it.
in it.
I'm very, very excited about it, and I'm excited to share the things that we found, and I'm excited about the possibilities of what we might find next. The
I'm
places
excited
that
about-
we're going, the things we're doing, and the people we're meeting.
Dude, the way the some of the footage we've seen,
Oh,
like
God, Carl's just...
able to do things now that he wasn't able to do before, and it's just like it's very
The arsenal
fucking
is
cool.
there.
Yeah, it's you know what it is. Everybody invested,
Yeah.
and what we're trying to show to the people who are watching it is the time and energy and like truly the work is being done, which I
Dude,
think is good.
this comment right here, like this is the stuff that I love. I love it when like smart, educated people
I
are
know
into Hellier.
so many Jungian therapists.
So many Jungians are into it, and I get it. And
Our
I-
friend Sarah's a Jungian
Yeah.
therapist.
and she's into it.
It's there's a lot. I think that's so awesome. I'm always so like
And you know what's funny, because I never really
amazed.
thought much about Jungian stuff until Carl started bringing it into
Yeah.
the series, because that's what Carl's education background is, and
Yeah.
like he studied mysticism.
Carl studied mysticism.
How crazy is it that the guy who's making the show has a mindset for portraying mysticism? Like, what kind of cosmic freak accident is that?
Yeah, and storytelling and writing and
or was it an accident?
Mhm.
I don't know.
the scribe?
Yeah.
He really is. He's a great. Carl's got that
Connor having a
Solid
like crazy
basic
mind for
foundation.
numbers.
numbers. Connor.
Come on, man.
Connor's in the numbers mind quite often.
I just really hope, I really, really hope that
That's
it
cool.
inspires people. That it inspires people to engage.
Go do it. Go do it. Go
to
do it.
engage with it, whatever it is, because I think that that's part of the point.
I always tell people that Hellier exists because we just filmed it.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
literally
That's
it.
literally it. It just exists because we just filmed it, and it is in a lot of ways documenting an experience that a lot of people can and do have in their own way. It's just that we filmed it.
Yeah, it's
That's
you
literally the difference.
you just go.
It's the only
you
thing.
Just do it.
Just go do it.
Don't ask permission.
Engage
Yeah, that's
with
the
it.
thing. I mean, we spent the first part of the reason that we had that weird thing where season 1 came out, and then later that year season 2 came out, is because we stopped waiting for permission, because we were trying to pitch it. We were trying to take it to networks.
Yeah,
and
we
they
had
were
sat on both seasons for a little while.
we were
Or-
showing it to people.
Yeah.
And it's Carl had so much time to just keep tweaking it, which is part of the reason it's bonkers good. Is because it took so long for us to finally go, fuck it, we're not gonna ask permission, we're gonna put this thing out, because so much of the feedback that we had was to edit everything from the first season into a sizzle reel so we could pitch it to somewhere and then go make a show about going into caves looking for goblins, which, like,
Like they
Sure,
didn't
the
want-
log line sounds that way for Hellier, but you guys
Yeah.
know that's not really what Hellier turns into.
No, they didn't want any of the any of the kind of nuanced esoterica, any of that sort of language, any of the occult stuff they weren't really very interested in. They were just literally interested in us just looking in caves, which is like, of course, that's what they were interested in. That's TV. Like they literalize everything.
Carl was actually approached by a television. I mean, he could tell this story too, but it's just very funny that there was a show, I won't say which, that Carl was attached to at one point, and they turned the title, or no, maybe it was, they changed the title at one point to Hellholes.
Mm.
And we all were just like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
I think we were talking to some production companies about doing something, and it just
Hellholes.
I know, Hellholes.
Holes.
Yeah.
The holes of hell.
And so it's just, I don't know. It's not worth giving those people power over your
it's definitely not
artistic
narrative.
endeavors.
Definitely not worth giving them narrative for.
Yeah.
Are we going to do recommends?
That's so cool. Heidi, I minored in psych in college, read a lot of Jung. Hellier always scratches that particular itch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, baby, you just wait.
Just hold
You're gonna
on.
have so much
Just
shit to
you
fucking
wait.
analyze, and you know what? You might have to tear down everything that you thought, because there's some recontextualizations of
At
some
least
shit that is fucking bonkers.
It's pretty interesting.
All right, we've teased it enough. We're very excited about it. I promise you guys will be the first to know when there's some real news about it. I don't have any dates for you.
It is coming along nicely. It is.
Yes.
It is. The footage looks incredible. The experiences that we're having are pretty wild. It sucks that we can't talk to you about any of them, at least right now. Once it's out, we can talk to you about them all day long. We can unpack everything. You can ask us questions about every nuanced part of it. You can do all of those things, but we can't tell you any of it until it is at least in the world. Once it's in the world, it's fair game, and we can have conversations about all of it.
Yes.
All day long with you guys.
And we will.
We'll absolutely
We will.
do that. And we'll have lots of fun ways that we can kind of explore it and talk about it together. But we got to wait till it's done. And it's never been closer. Put it that way.
Yeah. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
And I think you guys will be very, very happy with it. I think there's some things that people have been asking for that they are gonna get.
I feel like people are intuitively picking up on a lot of themes and stuff too, because I'm noticing there's a lot of like psychic, like the people that we know will send us emails about things that are very relevant in the moment.
Oh,
like,
it's so funny.
People
it's
are picking
so
up on
funny.
things psychically.
I 100%
intuitively.
believe that there's a frequency that people pick up on.
Yeah, they immediately give us like a little piece of information, and we're like,
crazy.
whoa. Yeah.
Even if it's not new information, there are people who have like
It's validating.
emailed at specific times or DM'd with like a word that they didn't know was important,
or a name or place.
There's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that stuff. We're gonna need a documentary about the documentary.
I know, that's true.
Maybe,
that's a great idea.
Maybe you will. Maybe you'll get something like that.
Maybe.
We have so many thoughts and ideas, and we're very stoked. And I know it's good when Carl is immediately editing.
He's editing literally
the minute he's shot something.
Yeah. Because he's put the second I see Carl on his computer, I'm like, he's editing already. He's putting color grades on stuff already. Behind the Hellier.
Well, okay. Now that we've got all that, let's give you some quick recommendations.
We've got a good short. I mean, we've talked about quite a few of these, but it's just mostly like the completion.
Speaking of the idea of like trying to make meaningful content,
there's some people that are doing it in the industry.
I really, we finally finished and watched the finale of The Rehearsal. It's one of my favorite pieces of media in a long time. It's it is Nathan Fielder is so committed to the bit that it is astounding.
He is the
I
bit.
think he has completely solidified his space as like a comedy genius. He's doing, somebody said this, I'm trying to remember where I read this. There's a lot of like Andy Kaufman-esque stuff.
Sure.
But I think that Andy Kaufman used a hammer, and I think that Nathan Fielder's using a scalpel.
Yes.
I saw somebody describe it that way, and it was one of the greatest things.
Miracle
I've
on the Mojave. Yes.
the miracle over the Mojave.
Can I just say I'm really proud of my fellow Canadians right now for making some of the best art. Like, Seth Rogen is making a show, the studio, we've talked about it. It's beautiful. It's such a love letter to the art form. It's great storytelling, incredible acting. Like, I'm proud of my Canadians right now. Canadians are making good shit. They're making good shit right now. They're killing it,
man.
They are.
If you haven't watched The Rehearsal, I realize the first season has like a major cringe factor. Like, Dana,
you don't even have to watch the first season. I don't think.
I think you get more out of it if you do.
I might have to watch it, but he kills me. That lady.
I know it's difficult, but I think it really is a lovely. Man, it's a fucking lovely.
It's really cool to see somebody who's managed to get to a point in their career where they're being given resources to make something, and they've proved enough at that point that they've created things that people enjoy and like. And it's a very rare thing that happens when you get that like perfect alignment where the entertainment industry is willing to give a person who's very earnest in their desire to make art a fuckload of money, and like just the resources that a network like, it's HBO, right? A network like HBO would have. And I think that it's an incredibly cool thing to see somebody doing something that's so weird and interesting and potentially like very divisive in its execution, because it's strange. And I think Nathan Fielder's a strange guy in a wonderful way, and I really feel like this season of The Rehearsal is, I think, some of the best art I've seen being made in a long time.
Yes.
It's so beautiful and strange and weird and wonderful and like just good. It's just good stuff.
Yeah.
It's real good stuff.
Highly recommended. It's only 5-6 episodes.
Yeah, I think it was like 5-6 episodes. It's not a huge investment, and it's worth it. It's
very funny.
It's weird enough that it'll get you if you haven't watched it yet.
Oh no, Mona, when Hellier first came out, all the winter rangers at Sheen's National Park watched it together. One of them went to work at Mammoth Cave National Park immediately after, and everyone was like, good luck.
Keep us posted.
Yeah, keep us posted.
I want to know what's going
on. Yeah, check out The Rehearsal if you have HBO Max. It's definitely it's one of my favorite pieces of media of the last few years. I don't want to spoil it.
No, don't. It may have been spoiled for you already,
I'm sure
but still
you've
watch
seen,
it if you haven't.
Images of it if you are in that world. But anyway, I would highly recommend that. Somebody mentioned Righteous Gemstones. I haven't watched the last season yet, but I love Righteous Gemstones. I'm trying to get Dana to watch it with me.
I mean,
Dana didn't grow up in the church, so she doesn't like have, you don't even really have exposure to like mega church pastors or
even
any of that
like
type of stuff.
even like
the lingo.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, I don't have any of that.
Righteous Gemstones is fantastic.
I love the whole cast though.
Yeah,
obviously it makes me laugh, but the entire cast is hysterical.
Madison, is The Rehearsal fiction or reality
Kind
TV?
Of both.
Yes.
All
Decide for
above.
yourself. I mean, there's a
above.
lot of conversation about that. It is very much a meta type of program, which I think is why I like it so much. That's really great. The studio.
I know.
We love the studio. We talked about it a little bit.
Yes. I mean, the finale was exactly what I thought it was going to be. We got Bryan Cranston. He was great in his underwear. I believe that also Bryan Cranston was channeling David Zaslav, which is even funnier. Zaslav, yeah. And like Seth Rogen openly talked about that, which is I love more than anything. So you can think about that. The guy that like basically ruined HBO for everybody. Bryan Cranston just channeled his anger.
I still haven't seen Sinners yet. I want to see it so bad.
Yes.
We made a bad decision the other day.
Listen. it was a decision that no matter what, we were
going to make it
anyway.
anyway.
Yeah, but
we had to go. We had to go see the
final
the final
Mission
hurrah
Impossible
of our Lord and Savior Tom Cruise going to expel the Thetans.
Listen,
Tom Cruise.
he was expelling all the Thetans from our bodies while we watched him. He was shirtless a lot.
He was. He looked great. He looked great.
He was not only shirtless, he was in his undies a lot.
Separate the art from the artist here. I've been watching Mission Impossible movies since I was a kid. It was
I mean,
one of my
everybody
favorite
has
fucking movies when it first came out.
And they're great movies. They really are. They're like, if you love a good action-packed film, they're great.
Uh-huh. And
Henry Cavill with the...
I regret to inform you, the new one sucked.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
It was not good. But,
I wouldn't even say it was good.
But
obviously his commitment to being that person,
yes.
being Ethan Hunt is there.
Yeah.
There's so many decisions in it. I walked out of the theater. I literally walked out of the theater and went more like, what I say? More like mission exposition, right?
Yeah, it was basically like...
I never felt like I was treated more like a baby.
It was basically...
during a movie.
This was what it was. The entire movie is this. A group of people walk into a room and talk about what just happened and what they're going to do. A group of people walk into a room, talk about what just happened and what they're going to do.
And I get it. It revolves around the big stunts. The stunts were great.
Yes.
Though the nuclear submarine thing was one of the most harrowing things I've seen in a cinema.
The soundtrack for that specific
incredible
scene is like, one of my favorite movies of all time is The Abyss. So like anytime there's like genuine underwater stunts, I'm like I'm a Scorpio rising. I get very excited about them. And I know The Abyss was a film. Like, I know everything about The Abyss because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. But, like, The Abyss does two things really, really well. It is very obvious that all the actors were desperately uncomfortable while filming it because it was a really hard movie on the actors to film. And secondly, it has a great ensemble cast of, like, wild, over-dramatic, silly 80s style characters that you fucking love. You love it. You love everybody that's in The Abyss. It's crazy. And I think that all of the scenes that were underwater were great.
Yeah.
I thought every scene in the new
Mission
Mission
Impossible... Of course, they all
Impossible,
fucking hated making The Abyss.
Yeah, because it was
like a torment.
But the stress of that is very evident in the actor's performance, and I think it's what makes The Abyss so good. But
here's the thing, too. Kristen saying, first off, no Mission Impossible movie needs to be 3 hours long. Doesn't need to be 3 hours long. It doesn't.
At one
that
point
movie,
in time,
and I told Dana, there's a good movie in there somewhere.
Yes, it needs a fan
Somebody's
edit.
going to do a good fan edit, and they're going to cut an hour out of that movie, and it's going to be pretty good.
They're going to do a Hobbit, and they're going to create a fan edit from it that is actually makes it really great and enjoyable. And I've only really ever watched the fan edit of The Hobbit. I don't watch the movies at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a kind of a stinker.
Yeah.
It's kind of a stinker. There's a lot of cool action scenes.
I was kind of bummed. It's just because it's it's not. I joke about Tom Cruise a lot. It's not really Tom Cruise. I liked the Mission Impossible franchise.
It's a great ensemble.
A bit.
Yeah.
I think it peaked with Fallout. I think Fallout is like the best Mission Impossible movie that was ever made.
The bathroom fight scene. It's one of the greatest fight scenes of all time.
Incredible. Henry Cavill's amazing in it.
He's got a half mustache.
Yeah,
He's got a mustache and a beard. And it's Henry Cavill, and he wears a suit.
It's what fucked up, isn't that what fucked up?
His knee?
No, it's what fucked up
Superman because of the mustache.
They had to paint over it.
Yeah, it is also because Henry Cavill was in it, though.
Yeah. Anyway.
We all love Henry
Wish I could give you...
Cavill.
Wish I could give
you... Cavalry, baby!
A recommendation of the Final Reckoning.
Just watch Fallout again. Just watch Fallout.
It was a stinker.
It was a stinker.
I appreciate the things that Tom Cruise has tried to do to save theater. I think it's important. It's a communal experience. I don't go as much as I would like to, which is why I was so disappointed that movie.
Yeah, it was not
a stinker. Stunts were cool though, but you get to watch them on YouTube in 3 weeks.
Well, you could watch, instead of watching a 3-hour-long Mission Impossible that sucks, you could watch The Rehearsal.
Yeah.
Just watch The Rehearsal.
I get it. I know. A lot of people have strong opinions about Tom Cruise.
He tends to bring them out in people. It's totally understandable.
Totally get it.
It's the movie reflects is not a good movie.
Yeah, not great.
But you know what?
Top Gun fucking ruled though. That was great.
Do you know what we were bummed out because we were like, oh, we should have gone to see Talk to Her.
We should have gone to see Talk to Her.
And
We're gonna go
and
see
we
that
will.
next.
We'll
We're
go
gonna
see
see
it
that
next
next week.
Yeah. Because apparently it's a nightmare, and it is if you're a fan of like family horror, which I am, because that's how I get my trauma out. Hereditary is one of my favorite movies. Apparently this one is going to be really good for fans. If you're a fan of Hereditary and we're a weird breed, I know we're out there. But this movie apparently will itch our Hereditary.
Oh yeah,
scratch.
bring
Since
her back. Bring her
that's
back.
what it
That's
is.
what it is. Yeah.
Since Ari Aster will not make another fucking horror movie again. Make a horror movie.
Ari Aster needs to climb out of his own fucking butt.
Stop making these epics and just give us another Hereditary. Give us Midsommar. I know I'm reducing him. He's an artist and he wants to tell an epic, but I want him to tell Hereditary again.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch Bring Her Back.
That is what it is. Bring Her Back. I don't know why I keep getting the name mixed up.
That, and I do want to watch Sinners.
Sinners, yes.
Been so busy.
Yeah.
Those are. Yeah,
those are our film. We watched The Craft last night.
We did watch The Craft last night. Still fucking great.
The
Still
1996 Craft.
Yeah.
Greg realized that it's like it also.
You know what The Craft is? I realized this last night.
Yeah.
It is.
It's like a version of.
It's a version of Lost Boys.
Yeah, it's a version of Lost Boys.
If the Lost Boys is it's like a boy movie.
Yeah.
The Craft is like the Lost Boys for girls. And I say that this way because it's like clearly marketed to younger women.
Or it's like it's vampires versus witches.
Kind of.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's vampires versus witches. It's the Lost Boys, but with witches.
So fucking good. It's so good. It really is.
Nancy's one of the greatest antagonist characters of all time. I love Nancy so much.
It's weird to watch it.
Greg showed me this hilarious picture of Amy Allen from the very first season of Dead Files, like standing. It was like a candid photo of her just standing smoking a cigarette, and I was like, she looks just like fucking Nancy Downs. I think that's what her name was.
The Craft is always weird for me to watch though because the first girl I ever kissed looked exactly like Nancy.
Fairuza Balk. What a babe.
Yeah,
what a babe.
Yeah. Maybe that dictated something to me.
That's why I have a nose ring to this day.
Those goth chicks.
Nancy's nose ring is inspired my nose ring for sure. Nancy rules.
Anyway, holds up. It's great enough that I'm like, is there a 4K Blu-ray of this movie?
I don't know if there
is.
Is there?
I found
gotta get it.
It's on sale right now too.
We also noticed.
Should I buy that for everybody in the chat?
Everybody's buying it right now. Go! No,
it?
It's we noticed some editing changes that I didn't notice. I haven't noticed, and the fact that I've watched this movie 3,000 times is crazy. But how I feel like The Craft has all of my favorite ritual scenes.
Oh yeah,
in
they're
all
cool.
any kind of magic or witchcraft related thing. I have certain ones that I love. There's I think I'm more in love with the house and practical magic than I am with the magic itself. But The Craft, the beach scene, I mean, that literally created my identity. My whole my brain shifted completely when I watched that scene for the first time. It's one of the best witchy, just aesthetics wise. It's very beautiful. But the whole movie, the whole movie's great. So we watched The Craft last night.
Fucking amazing.
Always gonna recommend.
It's so good.
The 90s Craft, the original Craft.
And we've been rewatching Buffy and Angel.
We've talked about Buffy quite a bit, but we've moved into Angel territory now. We're back. See, I was watching the season 2 the other day, and they're still in the hotel in season 2, and I am so obsessed with the hotel as being the HQ. The fact that they were so good, Buffy, the transition from the library into the magic box was a big thing, and I feel like no matter what, the Buffy universe has the best HQs because the hotel rules.
It does.
It is so. I'm obsessed with the idea of it. Could you imagine if we all lived in a hotel?
I mean, we have to have an iconic headquarters.
We'd have
At
floors.
some point. The museum is going to have to be in a firehouse or an old church or something.
Yeah.
It's got to be in a cool building.
I love the idea of it being in a hotel. I like the idea, honestly. Can I tell you
cool.
what I think it should be? I like the idea of it being a high school.
Oh, I think an old
That's
school
really
would be
my
cool.
Buffy brain.
We visited the
that was what gave me the idea.
The Alamo Draft House HQ when we were in Austin for South by a couple years ago. And it's in an old high school.
It's the
coolest
so
fucking
vibe.
Cool. They had the party was in the gymnasium.
Yeah, they
It was
kept
so
all the
neat.
lockers. Like it literally feels like you're walking into
We could
a
buy
hotel.
the low.
Oh,
Here's the thing: we're probably going to be in a place that gets more regular traffic.
I mean, hopefully, yeah.
Then there's really
I feel
not
like
an
the Low
easy
could
way
get
to
a
get
lot
to
more
Point
regular
Pleasant.
traffic if they weren't meanies.
We'd like to be a little bit closer to like a major airport, probably. Besides, I think the Low is going to need a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely.
It's pretty run down.
Let's put some sticky floors for sure.
Yeah.
Some little sticky spots where you're like, ooh.
Yeah. They already have a cool museum in Point Pleasant. They don't need another one.
That's true.
They don't need ours.
That is very true. They have the one that matters the most, which is the one about the Mothman experience.
Anybody managed to get a Switch 2 today? Didn't that come out today?
Did anybody get one that had
get one?
the batter or the
Did you hear about that?
yeah.
So many
What
people
was it?
so many people pre-ordered or waited in line to get their Switch. And what they do with pre-orders is they staple a lot of places. A lot of GameStops will like staple the receipt to the outside of the box. People got home to find that the screen of their Switch had been punctured by the staples because Nintendo did a real shit job. They prioritized presentation over packaging, so when you open the package, the screen is right there.
And so it was totally trashed because the that's crazy. Yeah, and also like people are paying like twice as much for them. Like they're so expensive.
Oh, dude, they're like, what is it, like $500?
They're sold out
now?
Everywhere, and they're getting them with
what is
broken
it,
screens.
Fucking Xbox? This is a fucking thing for like everybody. It doesn't even have the best graphics. You're paying $500. $80 for a Mario Kart?
Look, I'm happy with our old Switch. I don't care. We've been playing. That's the other thing. I made Greg put it on the list. We've been playing Mario Party and Mario.
Computer cheats. What an annoying game it is.
It does cheat. It does cheat. It definitely tries to even the playing field too much. Greg and I get very heated when we play because we compete against the bots.
But what's funny is
we haven't won one yet. You realize that, right? Like we've won the first one, and all of the other ones we have lost because the computer.
Boo. Anyway.
Yeah, $500 is a lot of money to be spending on something that GameStop immediately ruined with some staplers.
Holy cow! I can't
some
imagine.
Staples.
Oof. Oh shit, Mandy, my husband arranged video game music, and we're a gamer household. We had to get it today.
That is so
that's
cool.
Fucking
what a
awesome.
cool thing to do.
Well, if you got one, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, if you got one, have fun.
We'll get one eventually.
Hopefully it's not broken.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works okay.
We're still squeezing the juice out of the original Switch.
Yeah.
Which we got on Connor's recommendation.
We did.
Thought it would chill us out.
That was a Connor.
We're high strung.
We are a little.
If you couldn't figure that out.
A little bit.
And it's
like
it's
we can't
really nice.
We can't even play the game though because we get so like aggressively competitive with the bots. We're like, we can't let AI.
Oh, dude, Jason, you're so right. Mario Party is a friendship destroyer.
Oh, it is.
Because you get to the end and it's like, well, you messed up the most, so here, have these bullshit stars.
That sucks.
It's true. Those are the worst. You could turn them off.
They literally gave a star away for the person with the most money. They were like, here's a star. You have the most money.
I know.
They don't need a star.
The only other recommendation I have is I've been playing Doom: The Dark Ages, and it's pretty fucking sick.
Was it good? It looks good. It's very loud.
It feels very it's very satisfying to play. I liked Doom Eternal more. I'm missing some of the music because the music guy left because they weren't treating him right. So the music isn't as great.
Does it have the like does the monsters go roar like that sound?
Kind of. Not you haven't played Doom in a long time, have you?
I've only ever played the first video game on a computer.
Well, it's fucking fun as hell.
Yeah, when I was like 12.
It's cool because you got a shield this time. And so you can use the shield, but you can also throw it.
Oh yeah, I saw you doing that. It looks awesome.
It's super fun. You get to ride dragons.
The graphics look really good. Like
it's id, so you know the graphics will be good.
Yeah, it looks like a fun game.
Cozy
Game Rex.
Cozy games.
I mean, my cozy game recommendation is I played Mail Time, which was very, very fun. If you're a cozy game person, it's for the Switch. You literally are a little mushroom person delivering mail in a tiny mushroom town full of animals. It's adorable. It's beautiful. The soundtrack's really great. It's not hard to play, and it's very stress-free. I've also been playing Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley's cool.
Because I just transitioned from Animal
Yeah.
Crossing to Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Those are all my 3 favorite cozy games, and I play them kind of around in a
Yeah.
loop. But Mail Time is really, really cute and really fun, and it's not an intensive game,
There you
but
go.
it's got good cozy vibes. It's very
Into
cute.
the Weird says, I don't play any games, and now I'm wondering if I'm missing out, as if I need another thing to get obsessed with. You know, I get that.
Cozy
but
games
not-
are the good.
Yeah.
They're a good way to, if you're not a gamer and you don't play a lot. Like I don't play a lot of the same kinds of games that Greg plays. I like cozy, kind of quiet games.
Yeah.
That can be nice for people who don't necessarily want to play, maybe like first person shooters, but want to kind of have something cute and fun to play. So cozy games are always really fun.
I just hope the world hangs on long enough for me to get to play the new Grand Theft Auto.
I mean, I think everybody's holding
I mean,
out for
I
that.
just want to play the new Grand Theft Auto real
Everybody's
bad.
waiting for it. It looks
Real
pretty
bad.
crazy.
After that's done, we can commence with the apocalypse.
Everybody's just holding
Everybody's
out.
waiting. Yeah.
It looks pretty incredible. The fact that
Yeah.
the Tom Petty in the very first release,
Excellent
one of my
choice.
favorite Tom Petty songs of all time. It's a banger. It's incredible.
What
It
do they
got
say
me
that
really
They have
psyched
like
for it.
they have thousands of people working on it. I guess it's like
I mean, it
every
makes
one of
sense.
Rockstar's global studios is all working on it. It looks insane.
Tell them next they have to do another Bully, please.
God, Bully was one of them. It's one of my favorite games, probably top 5.
It's
actually.
one of the funnest games
Yeah.
ever. I should
Um,
play the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood. You get to create your own tarot deck. Oh, that's cute.
Oh,
All right,
that's
I will put it
cool.
on my. I'm literally gonna write it down right now. What is it called?
That's cool.
The Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood.
That
Can you
does
hear
sound
me
cool.
writing?
Puzzle games are fun.
Puzzle games are fun.
I loved. I miss the puzzle games on the Nintendo DS, the
yes.
3DS. I remember the
Well,
3.
Professor Layton. was
Yeah,
that?
Professor Layton's. That was fun.
I played a lot of those
Yeah.
puzzle games. I like puzzle games too.
Yeah, puzzle games are fun.
I don't.
Eh.
Do you have anything else?
Nah.
I'm trying to think.
Not
Wait,
really. I had my ranting and raving about
my
things
last
and-
one is just the spicy mustard Doritos.
We've recommended those in the past.
Have we?
They're back.
No,
I
we
think they were-
recommended the sriracha ones.
We've recommended the mustard ones in the past.
Have we?
The ketchup ones aren't as good.
I think. Listen,
They,
I think
they're
they're pretty
doing
good.
like the backyard barbecue thing right now.
There's too much. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I will say this: the ketchup Doritos have more of a tang,
Yeah,
which is Canadian.
but they're
ketchup
not
chips.
they're not as hardcore as Canadian
They're
ketchup
not.
chips though.
When you get Canadian ketchup chips,
The
you
American
open that
palate,
bag,
man.
you
We're
pull it out. What you're pulling out is like it's the color of like it's neon red. It's the reddest thing you've ever seen in the whole world. You pull that chip up, it's incredible, and you put it in your mouth, and you're like, "I'm in Canada, baby. I'm in Canada, baby." That's what ketchup chips should taste like. Canada. They do. They taste just like Canada.
yeah. Somebody also mentioned we did mention this. Somebody mentioned the Hot Ones Pringles.
Yes.
We tried those.
They're so
They're
fucking
too hot to eat.
Yes.
They're not even fun.
We tried them because we thought it would be a fun let's do like a fun thing with Connor and Carl, and it's like if we gave those to Connor and Carl, they would their heads would explode. I ate 3 of them and my mouth was burning for like an hour, and I like spicy food. Like
Yeah.
I love like
Connor
any
actually
kind of
yelled at
spicy
me.
treats.
Connor yelled at me one time for even owning a can of salt and vinegar chips.
Oh, that's
Called them an
too
abomination.
wrong.
Wrong.
You're
Listen,
wrong.
I get it. You might think pizza is the superior flavor, Connor.
Of
But
Pringles?
but I
I'm
like a little tang, man.
Can I tell you my ultimate Pringle?
I mean, I like a little.
You're a fan of the tang. You know what? A plain Pringle is the tits. I'm not. It's good. It's all listen, you can't go wrong with salt and vinegar. Incorrect.
Fernando. Once you've played Grand Theft Auto, we could go back to Grand Theft Democracy.
No!
We certainly have been, haven't we? Although I will say the very public breakup
I mean,
that's
more
happening.
could
It's
happen.
happening right
I don't
now
even
is,
know what's going on right now.
I would say it's amusing to watch.
It's
If
making
I
me
wasn't
nauseous.
so concerned, it was just going to cause a lot of people way more problems who don't need them right now. Oh, what a time to be alive.
I love Scottish John Galt says plain is the best. I agree with you.
Onion garlic chips are the best.
Onion garlic chips are really good. Is this a person from Europe?
No, this is
Perhaps?
Sharon.
Oh, yes.
You know what really is pickled onion? The pickled onion shit from the UK is amazing.
A pickled onion, it's because it's pub
Monster
food.
Munch is what it's called.
Monster Munch
You can
rules.
get it on Amazon, Monster Munch. It's real good, especially if you like salt and vinegar type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Try Monster Munch if you ever have the opportunity
It's
to.
really delicious.
It's really great. Walker's is who makes it.
You know what? I'm actually a really big fan of British snacks, specifically. I
Yeah.
love British snacks.
Yeah, I do
They're
too.
pretty good.
They don't have peanut butter stuff over there, though.
They don't. Peanut butter is a very American thing.
Yeah.
It's like, but peanut butter rules. And they're wrong.
Yeah.
They
peanut
should
butter,
have, they
peanut
have
butter does rule.
marmalade.
Great.
Marmalade's pretty gross. My grandmother used to make her own marmalade, and it was pretty gross. It's like you want to like marmalade, but there's chunks of things in it that you don't like the taste of. They're bitter because it's little bits of the rind and peel. Or my grandmother was just making it terribly, which is entirely possible.
I still think the funniest thing is when the first time we were in the UK, we like went out to eat. We both looked at each other like, "Oh my god, they're right. Nothing here has any flavor."
This was in late here. This will give you exactly what.
Like, what are they eating
was
over
going on.
here? There's nothing tastes good.
The very first time that we visited London was very, very, very late. Actually, I should just say early December 1999 or 1999 exactly. 1999.
Anyway, it was right before COVID popped off. And we didn't realize we
2019.
actually had COVID
We had COVID
before it was really a thing.
and we
that's
were
why
like,
couldn't
why does
taste
nothing
anything.
taste like anything here? Nothing has any flavor.
Which is why
No.
the second time we were there, some of the best meals I've ever eaten in my
Yeah.
life, and I was like, "Oh, this is what it's supposed to taste
The
like
first
here."
thing that we did in the morning when we got there the second time is we immediately went and had a fry up, and like I was just like, this is the greatest. I love
Oh yeah.
just eating baked beans at 7:00 in the morning. Let's fucking
Don't
go.
know if I'm on board with that.
Mush it all together.
Or the
all
stewed
all
tomato.
the things are touching. We gotta get those stewed boiled tomatoes in there. That's how you do it. Yeah, the Great Plague of 1999. Exactly.
Dang, Joseph still not had COVID. I hope that there's
Joseph-
a big fucking piece of wood you're banging on
Yeah,
right now.
go knock on some wood. Send Joseph some heat, like protective vibes. Good work.
Oh,
Good
we
work.
don't have
standing
a
on
Trader
that shit.
Joe's near us.
I know.
They have pickle chips there.
They have
Apparently
pickle
those
chips?
are really good.
What we need to do is just go back to Jungle Gyms and go to the British section and get actual British treats.
We should.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Get
Let's
some
not
treats.
do it on the
I
weekend.
can't stop thinking about it now because I love pickled onions. They're my favorite.
Dude, the Monster Munch. We can order it on Amazon. It just takes a little while.
Yeah, we can just go there though because that's way more fun.
Um.
Spotted dick, hee hee.
Oh, black pudding. Ugh, Sarah.
My
Sarah's
grandparents.
Pennsylvania Dutch, though.
My grandparents used to make homemade haggis. My very, 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 very Scottish grandparents used to make homemade haggis, and I ate a lot of it as a child. I don't remember what it tastes like. I think I might have liked it actually, but it's obviously been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. I
That's
don't have
it.
it. I don't really have anything else.
Check the itinerary.
Always check the itinerary. See what's
Mhm.
coming up.
Mhm.
Again, we'll stress this upcoming Magic of the Month class is for everybody.
It's for everybody.
So-
we're letting everybody come and join.
It just seems like a valuable thing for people right now. We have a couple objects that we need to empower,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously, it's not a bad thing right now. I think a lot of people feel very powerless. So, let's add a little bit of magic to our lives. Let's get together, all of us together. Let's use the collective
Communitas.
power of this group to make some magical objects. And, it doesn't have to be something that means something to you yet, but it could mean something to you after. Maybe it's something that you keep on you. I
Or
love
maybe it's
some of the
something-
ideas you guys have had.
Maybe it's something you want to change.
Yeah.
Make good. Maybe
Yeah.
it's something that you have that doesn't have good energy attached to it, but it's
There you
something
go.
that you like. But
Transmute it.
you want to change it. You can do that too.
Transmute it.
Yeah.
So make sure you mark the date for that. That'll be fun, especially if you've never had a chance to be in a Magic of the Month class.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun. So we've got that coming up. We're going to talk, or at least attempt to talk. We can never promise. We're going to attempt to talk to Mantis Boy. Maybe Mantis Boy doesn't talk.
I don't
know.
He's never talked, actually.
He's not said anything.
I don't think so. That's weird. I didn't think about that.
There's somebody did have a question. I don't know if you have any insight on this, at least that you are willing to share yet. Do you think that Mantis Boy is showing himself, itself, themself to you in the mask so they don't scare you?
I don't know. No, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's that's the archetype that I'm meant to be seeing them in.
Yeah, it's supposed to instill a feeling in you, right?
Yes, a vibe.
Yeah,
a vibe.
That's kind of my read on it.
Yeah. I feel like a real sort of it's a weird energy that I'm not really particularly like used to, because it feels a little bit I don't want to say dismissive, because that's not the right word, but it's very like I don't know. I'm curious about how where this is going to go, but I don't think that's necessarily why the mask is there. I think the mask is archetypal.
Yeah.
And because it is there, I choose to.
And he's showing it to you as a mask.
As a mask.
So
like
there's a reason
see,
for...
I literally see it's like too big. Like I can see underneath.
Like a cheap Halloween mask.
It's a crappy, like literally like a crappy Halloween mask that you would buy at like a Party City.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, I know exactly what kind.
And so
I've seen the mask.
I appreciate the archetype is present there, and so I'm just trying to take it on as its archetype.
Yeah.
And accept it as its archetype.
One more question about Mantis Boy before we go. Do you think does he feel internal or external? Does he feel like he's part of your psyche or something outside of it?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those things. I think that no matter what, the imagery is being pulled from the lexicon that is my brain.
Sure.
And so no matter what, those archetype, or at the very least the very basic visual of it is being probably, at least as far as I think, pulled from my subconscious mind. But there's a larger thing to discern from that, which is the archetypal symbols that are present
sometimes
in it.
The thing is the message.
It's the message, yeah.
Like in a dream, like in a dream.
Like literally like in a dream. So interpret the actions, the behavior, even just the vibe, which is like it feels like, I feel like it is a very interesting sort of I'm either, I'm doing this whether you're here or not kind of energy. That's sort of where
Sure.
it definitely doesn't feel like anything that sort of like gives a crap whether I'm there or not.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Maybe that's not the right way to put it, but I think it's both. And I think that I think we can look at the archetypes themselves and maybe discern them separately.
Yeah.
But I think a bit of both probably.
Yeah.
I think it's often both for most people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it before. I do think that one of the things that we're doing when we do these experiments is I think we are going, I think to get outside, you go deeper inside because that's where the connection to the
well, it happened
consciousness current is.
What happened to us? It happened to all of us together on the first live stream, on the first one. We came out the door we were looking for.
We came out the door we were looking for.
And we didn't realize it at the time. It was, I can't even remember who it was. It was a museum member that said, no, you came out the door that you were looking for.
We talked a bit about John Keel tonight. One of my favorite John Keel quotes is, if you stare far enough into space, eventually you'll see the back of your own head.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Go in to go out.
Yeah, I think you go in to go out. And I think, it's so funny. We were talking about this earlier today. We talk about all of the creation myths of the world. And, a very easy one for most Westerners is the idea of Genesis. There was nothing. How was reality created? It was spoken into existence. I think that that's what we're doing all the time. Any single thing, any piece of furniture that you have, the computer that you're on, the camera that's shooting us, all of these things started from the void. They were an idea. Somebody had an idea.
In a brain.
It came from nothing. Came from nothing until somebody spoke it into existence. That's magic. And I think that when we go into our own subconscious that way, when we allow those archetypes to speak to us, it's magic. We're tapping into that current. And so I think that that's where you go.
Yeah.
I love the way that they depict it in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
The black,
Yes.
watery void.
Yes.
You know?
And probably the ones the remote viewing that we've done where that archetypal like symbol and imagery shows up is probably because my brain is pulling it from Stranger Things. It's literally
Sure.
it's inspired by, and like here's the thing, it's only inspired by that in that imagery is so it didn't start obviously with Stranger
It feels
Things.
E.T. It feels like a Spielberg
archetypal.
Archetypal
Archetypal.
children's adventure.
Yes, it is the environment that we are most often familiar with in fiction and in archetypal stories about those types of experiences. So it doesn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form that it would like pop up in our own kinds of stuff.
That's why it's so important to consume art.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important to consume art and to read,
to work with.
because that is what your lexicon is made up of.
Yeah. And imagine a tapestry, and every time you do that, tapestry becomes more nuanced.
You get a new color to paint with.
Yeah, you get new shapes. Maybe it's a tapestry that changes its dimension, and it's not just 3-dimensional. It's 5. You know what I mean? It's something that you can go into. It expands and it grows. So the more you give that, the more you give your database things to pull from, the richer the yield from the experience of exploring it often is.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got to build the alphabet.
Yeah, if you
in order
build
to form
it,
the word.
they will come.
Yeah, sure.
Field of Dreams. That film is called Field of Dreams.
Starring
Kevin Costner,
who was in
Waterworld. Was he in Waterworld? Was that the right movie? That's the movie exactly.
A real popcorn classic.
Oh, for those Costner heads out there.
If you're a Costner head.
5
Kevin
baseball.
Costner's in trouble.
Oh no, why?
Oh, you didn't hear about this? He apparently the Western he was making, he
I already hate this.
he had stunt double perform a spontaneous love scene. I say that, but I think it was more severe than that, and they're suing him for it because he just like on the spot made it up.
What?
No intimacy coordinator, no planning. It was just a stunt double. I don't know if that's the kind of stunts you sign up for.
No, I mean, calling it a stunt also is hilarious. Here's the thing.
Not good, buddy.
Remember The Bodyguard? Remember Whitney Houston? Remember how good she is in that movie? Do you remember how beautiful her voice sounds on that soundtrack? It doesn't matter. Let's just think about Whitney Houston singing a song that beautiful Dolly Parton wrote. The chair just sounded like I
Holy
farted.
shit. Mona and Sheen, my father-in-law, Sheen's dad, was in Dances with Wolves.
Wow. Oh,
fucking
I've
sick.
never seen that movie.
Really?
I feel...
I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't know. Has it aged well? You might be a perfect person to tell us. I don't know.
Can't imagine
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
I can't imagine it aged
I
very
really
well.
hate that he did that. Kevin
I
Costner.
think it was Kevin Costner. We'll look at the news after and see. You live near the fort. Yeah, I'm guessing it didn't age very well. Yeah. Gotta love those white savior movies. Yeah, the white savior movie. Yeah, see, I figured. Probably not. What about Last Samurai? Was that
Tom Cruise?
That was Tom Cruise. They're never good, are they?
No.
Nope. Well, on that note, thanks for coming and hanging out with us for a few hours, listening to me rant and rave about losing heroes, how terrible the minefield of the paranormal really is.
Mm-hmm. But Nathan Fielder's
making some good shit.
Seth Rogen's giving us some good stuff.
Yeah, man, there's some good stuff happening. Those Canadians, they know how to make some good entertainment. You guys are the best. We'll have the whole list of cities and dates for the tour on Saturday. I think that's the next thing.
Check the itinerary.
Lots of fun stuff this month. Appreciate you. Love you. Happy Pride. Reach out to your friends and family. Things are, people that if you feel like somebody needs check in on them. It's a good time to do that. The world's a scary place. I would argue it's always been a scary place, but it feels a lot more scary than it has in a while, I think. Although, are we tired of living through history yet?
Yeah.
I suppose that's all we're always doing is living through history, but my goodness.
Take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Yes. You know, I hate using it's a terrible, corny, almost trite example, but you know, it makes me think of you can't put the mask on someone else on an airplane if you don't put it on yourself. So
yeah, there you
take
go.
care
If
of
you need the
yourselves.
oxygen, yeah, you got to put your oxygen mask on first.
You can be more helpful when
Yes.
you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you for being museum members. Thanks for letting us do what we get to do. And
thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
I hope the rest of your week is great and that you have a fantastic weekend. We'll talk to you in Mailbag on Monday.
Also check the itinerary for all of the fun stuff happening this month.
Appreciate you guys.
I'm gonna eat some chocolate now.
Me too. Sounds good. I still have a little leftover Chinese food too. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Talk to you soon.
Happy Pride.
Bye.